Yeah.
fun. It's still fun. Some way to buy alcohol. Just crazy.
How was you able to get on that volunteer, by the way? Because
Man,
it
I
was,
begged and hustled and talked to so many different khakis to weasel my way into that situation. But I'm so glad I went. I met a group of different people, but it also like opened my eyes to the fact that, you know, the whole Navy isn't the same. Every command is not the same. Because
uh,
I was delusional with how great Truman was. And to see something on the Ike that was completely opposite of what was going on Truman blew my
mhm.
mind. I was like, I don't know if I could do another because I was ready to go back to back C. And I don't know I could do that. Mm, I'm good.
You was trying to stack your money. I see what you was trying.
Yeah, but when you realize that there's some command that's deadly,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yeah, that's I need to go ahead, keep the cycle going properly. So C, sure.
Oh man. You know what's funny when you went on that um the San Jacinto.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they needed volunteers because they only had one HT on the and the other one got pregnant. So they only had
Mm-hmm.
one HT, and he never was on shore duty. He was never on sea duty. He was just on shore duty. So they asked us on the Truman, it was like volunteered, and I didn't even know about it until like the last day,
Are
and I
you
got
serious?
voluntold.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
It was one thing they're gonna do is Vaughn told you, man, do some
but
fine.
here's the funny part. There was other HTs who was just like they wanted to go. That
Oh yeah, that's
is like
crazy.
yeah, there's a couple of them was like they wanted to go, and that's the chief come up to me. He was just like,
But you
"Get
was
ready."
really good at your job though, like legit, really good at your job.
Yeah, that's why they got me. That's why they got me.
Because I remember I used to always come down to I say come down like because at one
Come
point I
up to
remember you worked downstairs, but you also worked on the hangar bay, and I worked on the hangar bay. But
yeah.
you was really like you really was great at your job. So I'm like, I see why they would volunteer you because then they needed somebody who knows what they're doing and who can work.
Oh yeah. So yeah, that's exactly what it was. And then I was like, I was the funny thing was I was telling everybody else. I said, "Y'all know about the San Jacinto and the whole thing about going on the way to," and they was like, "They asked you." I was like, "They asked me what?" I mean, yeah, they asked me what. I was like, "That," and that's when you hear, "Damn, I really wanted to go." And then like I
Mhm.
had to talk to my chief. He was like, "Yeah, the San Jacinto they ain't got no HTs, so they need people to volunteer." And I was the only fireman. Like everybody else was like third classes, it was second classes. Chief was there. They got one machinery repairman, and
Mhm.
that boat was a mess. I'm gonna tell you that. Like that boat
Oh,
was.
I'm telling you, Truman truly had me in delusion state of mind because I thought every ship was just like ours.
Hey y'all, what's
Until
up?
Shiny
hmm,
Wolf to answer the chat. What's going on, Shiny Wolf?
Not much. What y'all talking about tonight? Well, right now anyway.
Uh
oh,
we haven't even tell you the truth. We haven't even started. We was just
Oh, you must have
me
you
and
must have
me and
just sent me that link.
yeah, I did. Um, I I don't know if I told you this, Shiny Wolf, but me and Material Life, we actually served on the same boat together. So
mhm.
we literally like we
Well,
literally
we've
known
known
each
each
other
other
since
since A school.
eighth.
Like
Okay. Well, how you doing?
awesome.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
What about you?
I'm doing pretty good. I was working on my illustration skills and stuff, trying to start a business off of that. Other than that, I've been doing all right.
Congratulations.
Eh, you know, try and do the thing. Well, what we getting into tonight?
I'm proud of you. Well, since you say that, let me just start by saying, and we are live. Welcome everybody to another episode of You Know What? Let me just say podcast. I am your host, Ray. With me as always, we have Material Life.
Hello.
And coming in, we have Shining Wolf.
What's going on, everybody?
Now, to answer your question, what we talking about, we got a list. I gave you the list, right?
Yeah, I saw.
Okay, so I'm gonna. So today, and if the other people come in, they come in. But today we're going to be about solutions today, is because we always talk, and then I feel like let's let's be with these topics because it's a slow week. Let's be about solutions. So obviously, and where do y'all? I want to look at y'all. Ask y'all, where do y'all want to start at, or would y'all like me to just choose them out?
I'm about to take a look at the list real quick. Um, yeah, we've been doing a lot of texting. Here we go. Kevin Samuel clones.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let me. So I'm gonna have to set that one up. So and Shining Wolf, you already know about who I'm about to bring up because I already showed you the video. But B, let me ask you a question. B, how do you feel about Kevin Samuels?
I don't have a problem with him. I agreed on some of the things he said, and some of the things he said probably was a little bit too harsh. I would say he was lying, but some of the things he said probably was a little too harsh for, I guess, society and
Just
females to like
take in.
swallow at that point in time.
Mm.
But he didn't really say nothing that was, to me, I felt like it was needed. But some things was a little just too harsh. Like there's a little, there's a way. And then, some things you just gotta say it.
Yeah, I agree with that. Some things you just gotta say it because you could pussyfoot around all you want.
Mhm.
People are not gonna really feel the weight of it if
I
you
think,
if you're too soft with it. Sometimes.
and a lot of people who truly like didn't like what Kevin Samuels was saying, like truly like even when he was saying things that made sense and was like obvious, were people who just wanted to like I guess be Tatianas their whole life, and they felt like he was going against their morals of being a thought their whole life. That's I felt like those were people who felt like he said like because let's be honest, I think it was something in regards to like going to lunch instead of going to dinner on first dates, and then I don't know how it went from just being in general. Because let's be honest, everyone, if I go to dinner with somebody at nighttime, there's a possibility that people might think sex is on the table. As
Right.
just as a female, you have to have that thought process. Like that might be something that they're expecting, even though that's not happening. But like, there's a process in your mind that's like they're probably gonna expect a late night kiss. Like, but to be delusional and pretend like that's just not the thought frame, it's delusional.
Be like, 'cause someone will be like, "Oh, you're disgusting." I'm like, "Come on now, you know good and damn well that that's what's expected at this point in time."
So like first date, don't know the person like that well. Going to lunch, you can use the excuse I got to go back to the office, or I'm tired, or I just got to go. I got to do a couple more errands and stuff. And this isn't awkward, but it's just it sets the tone to let them know that like this is just me, we're dating. We're trying to get to know each other. This is nothing more, nothing less. But a bunch of girls was like, "Oh, it's my body, and if I don't want to sleep with you, I'm like, it's not about your body. It's just common facts. Is it's late at night. What is like? What are you expecting? And what you think he was expecting by paying this meal? Like these guys aren't paying for food freely. Like as the delusion is expected.
I don't think it's a delusion. I think they're trying to get over, and they're trying to use shame to kind of like get to kind of gaslight the situation, if you know what I mean when I'm saying gaslight.
Yeah, I know what you mean by
True.
gaslight.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think women are stupid. I think they know good and damn well what they're doing.
Oh,
It's
they
just
do.
yeah, yeah, they know what they're doing. They know exactly what's going on because say they're supposed to be the socially savvy ones, and I actually do believe that they are the socially savvy ones because some guys are just like derp derp derp, but these women know what they're doing. They just gaslighting by pretending that they stupid and don't know, or this like, oh, what you're doing is crazy and stupid and wrong, but they know the game. They're hip to the game. A lot of women experience more dating life and uh more of a romantic life and more dating than most men have.
That's true.
So they know the game a lot better than we do.
Okay, and I take that. So let me ask y'all. Damn, they driving down my street with motorcycle. Anyway, uh, let me ask y'all a question. Like, how do y'all feel about the Kevin Samuels clones that's been uh going on lately?
I didn't even know he had clones until you brought this topic up, and then I Google search, and then they brought up, I guess, some Hispanic or white guy or something that had like the Kevin Samuel desk set up, and he was like making a topic about five something, I don't know, five women or something, I don't know. And I was just like, really? People are trying to recreate, the Kevin Samuel aesthetics. But they got to realize that, like, Kevin Samuel was speaking on, like, in regards to, like, he wanting females to not just, like, to better themselves because he felt like the women that are supposed to be, speaking on to, these younger females and, guiding them and getting them together wasn't doing it because they don't want to be, blacklisted or canceled because of, they feel like they're shaming females for wanting to be openly sexual.
It's what about you? What about you, Clarence?
Well, the tag on to what she was saying, that's like I think that the reason they don't do it is because well, for one, it's become like a social dynamic these days where you like we tell the feminine in society what they want to hear, and it's been a part of the
It's true
marketing
too.
for a long time now. So anything outside of that is going to be shunned. I don't know. It's like a little bit more. It's a little bit more to it than that, but that's my general thoughts on it. It's like they're gonna tell them what they want to hear and not exactly what they need to hear. And because men especially generally don't want to upset women because they want to get in their pants and they want opportunities and relationships with them. They're not going to really tell them outright these things and what's really going on here.
Exactly.
Because some women are a little bit more emotional than men, and they're going to get upset, and some men can't handle it. And you need men like Kevin Samuels and other people who like detach from the situation to tell you the truth. There's even a lot of female dating coaches that's beginning to come out and say stuff now. They've been saying a lot of reasons that you're not getting what you want out of relationships with women or men, as far as like, platonic relationships with women and romantic relations with men, is because you're not willing to compromise. You think you're a little bit higher up on the bar than you actually are, and you're being unrealistic and just not practical. So
Okay.
Okay.
But
I well, I agree. Go ahead.
mm,
how many clones are out there now?
I think there's a lot. So, um, there. I okay. One thing I liked about Kevin Samuel is that I felt like when he spoke from a place where it was like it was his opinion whether you like it or not. So I think there's a lot of people that feel like Kevin Samuels, but there are people that, in my opinion, are worse or like they feel like they're doing Kevin Samuels' job, but not really. So there are some people who's just like I feel like they'll literally say word for word what Kevin used to say, and then there are people that honestly, and I feel like if you're a fan of his, you shouldn't be doing this. They'll steal his content and they'll make YouTube pages off of it or YouTube off of like some of his stuff, and he was against that all the fucking time because he would flag that because it was his content, and he didn't want people making money off of his content. Now I understand, like he understand fair use and like you're reacting, but there were people that literally steal his content and then like use it as their own. So similar to what like they do with
mm,
similar to like what they do with Patrice O'Neal. So uh I feel like there's a lot of people that there's a lot of copycats, and I feel like none of them are original. We may even if we probably have the same thoughts. Like there's a couple of YouTubers that in a red pill that have some original takes towards it, but there are people I feel like there are is a real clone, and then like the video I'm showing you. Uh, I'll open the damn chat again. The video I'm gonna show you is like, and like Shining Wolf has already seen this because I already shared it to him. This brother goes by the name of Jeremy Hill, and I feel like the way some black women felt about Kevin Samuels, like he's misogynist and all that stuff, or he don't like black women. Um, I feel like what they thought Kevin Samuels was, he is, and I'm gonna play you a little bit of his, and you'll see why I feel that way.
And we have to stop believing in these women. Stop thinking that you found the queen. Stop thinking that you can settle down and have a legacy and have kids with today's modern black woman because they are going to disappoint you every day, at every
oh
turn.
yeah, this one.
Stop thinking you can have a house built from the ground up with a white picket fence with a little puppy and have a nice life with these women, because these women don't want that. All they want is demon time. They want to slay. They want to be bougie. They don't want to be wives. They don't want to be anything other than what we see today, which are women who dress hoarsely. Black women will disappoint you. Other women from different races are not like our women, because our women, their character have went down the toilet. They don't know what it means to struggle. They don't know what it means to be committed. But they'll put that on the black man. She wants us to be committed. She wants us to struggle with her attitude. These women will disappoint you.
Now, like me and Shannon Wolf, we've had this conversation before, and like he has points that I'm pretty sure he's going to bring to the table today. But just so you know, if you think that's because to me, I was like that's probably one of his tamer videos. But if you go down to like his, I'm telling you, it probably go down to his thing. Like if you look at his videos, black women have no purpose. Black women
Oh,
hatred of virginity. Black women social media and whoredom. Black women love to like like
I pray to God, black woman is not watching this man video.
yeah, black
My issue with him was that some of those negative things that he was talking about is not even exclusive to black women. Some of that shit is some things that just Western European women in general do. It's a lot of traits that a lot of modernized women do. When you look at the whole video, it's not even like a lot of almost none of that stuff is like black woman issues exclusively.
No, I don't know how or who is saying he's the Kevin Samuels clone, but he is definitely far from it. This man legit have a hatred for black women.
He does like it's obvious.
It's spewing out of him. Kevin Samuels didn't have a hatred for black women. He just wanted more. He just wanted the black woman to, you know, to be recognized, to understand their power. Like, and realize, okay, y'all keep screaming, y'all want, high value men, but high value men have requirements. So y'all need to be realistic. This man right here, from the moment you press play, he just spewed out black hate and to let us know we are less than, below every other race. This guy is nowhere close to Kevin Samuel. He is he is whatever hill he was.
Kevin Kevin
I
Sanders
don't even
was
remember his
from
name, but that is who he is. He is definitely not, portraying. Kevin Samuel comes out with facts, factual numbers that can be Googled, that can be seen. This guy right here just purely hates. I don't know what black woman, if it was his mother or what.
yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I don't say this to a lot of people, but when I saw that, my first initial reaction was, "Who hurt this brother?" I'm not. I'm not even going to front. Like I don't usually say that, but I was like, somebody hurt that brother. I need to find if it was his mother or if it was some black women that he probably done met that just made him turn into this. Because I don't feel like he initially thought this way before, but this man done turned into this, and I'm wondering what man hurt. And
No,
I've said this,
he had
and
to
I said
been
this.
this place before, Ray. This isn't something he just turned into. He's been like this for a long time. This is given deep rooted, embedded in the core of his being.
yeah, because he looked like he like late late 30 something. Yeah, old.
Yeah, and when you look at the titles and thumbnails, it's legit. Like the hate is so like it's so pure on him. Like he can only see the negativity of black women all through his thumbnail. It's like black woman, big bold, first line, negative. Black woman, big bold,
Does
first
anybody get
line,
the
negative.
Does anybody get the vibe that he's trying to cling on to a market, and he don't even sound like he believe in what he's saying. He sounds like he's trying to appeal to a market to me.
That's
Nobody
why.
else get that feeling.
That's why I feel like with a lot of Kevin Samuels clones, it's just like, do you really feel like that, or you just trying to cling on to something that you think it'll make you money? Because like even if like some of the stats that people like spot out are delusional, I mean are factual. Does it really like do you really feel like that, or
Do
do
you
you
resonate with that? Right.
yeah do you really resonate with that? It's like there are things that I've always said, like the things Kevin Samuels says are on point, and he has the stuff to back it up. But there was also things that I've always said I don't agree with 100% with him, and there's things that I figure that if you got to look deeper into the numbers. So it's just like, but Kevin Samuels always say, form your own opinion. Don't just take my word for it. But I feel like a lot of these people they just try to do what Kevin Samuels do. But yeah, the brother Jeremy Hill, I feel like that's why I call him a Kevin Samuels clone. I don't think Kevin Samuels is that bad. Hell, I don't even think Tommy Sotomayor is that bad. And
No, but Thomas Sotomayor though, he's angry.
yeah, he goes there.
He
He goes
pissed
there.
off.
Yeah.
But I can understand why, because this current culture of just the yes manning and the I'm not accountable for anything. I'm the queen and I'm the king, queen, whatever, and everything I do is right. Ain't nothing wrong with me. That culture is deep, and there's like very little accountability in that culture. So I can understand how someone who's trying to get you to see the error of the ways and to get the community to improve will be frustrated and just give up off of that alone.
Agreed. Also, Crystal done into the chat. Hola, Crystal.
Hola.
Now,
Hello.
obviously I done sent you the video. You already know which one I'm talking about. The one that the dude was going on black women and like you you literally went the fuck off. So we're talking about that now. So would you like to give your opinion on that video?
I sure will. Um, it's a couple of things that this motherfucker said. Okay. He started with talking about how black women are 45 wearing thought clothes. And then I mentioned the Kardashians. Because you see, the thing is that it's not just one race of women that are wearing clothes to regain their youthfulness or what they think is their youthfulness. As
Right.
far as I'm concerned, they don't really know better. And, when people are habitual, they're going to continue doing habitual shit. And men that think that that's cute are going to keep giving them the attention. So it's called, a lack of better terms, just two people that belong together. And that kind of clears out the dating pool with the fuckery. We need people like that. So, but don't make it a race thing because I've seen plenty of different races dress provocative as as they age. You know what I mean? Then he's talking about how black women scar children. So again, we're not going to talk about the two lesbian couples that adopted six black kids and drove the car over the fucking cliff. Like, this is not a race thing. Again, it's a mental issue thing. And I'm not blaming mental issue, but I would like men like him, and I don't even consider him a man because you consider black women beneath you, but at the same time you are building your business off of what? Black women. If they did not exist, sir, you would not have what you call a job as a YouTuber. So at the end of the day, it's kind of like fucked up when you look at it. And the fact that his skin is melanin and he's talking all this shit. Nigga, do you know that you would not even fucking exist without a black woman and a black man creating your dumbass? So let's not do this. Like, you are fighting on the wrong side and you're not even coming up with a solution. If you are a man, a black man that has all these issues with the black woman and you want to see them elevate, then make sure that whatever daughter you bring into this world don't repeat the same mistakes that you see a lot of black women doing. Have solutions, have businesses. And I keep saying businesses because you see, the black race in general only owns 1% of the rural land in the USA. So, where's the power? If a black man really wanted to hire his own and have a business and so on what land? What ownership? You get what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, the only thing you're on a white platform again, talking shit about your own people, and you don't even have like a legit reason to do it. You have no logical thinking. So this retard, like, he's not even a clone of Kemi Samuel. He's a scum at the bottom of Kevin Samuel's shoes. Like, he comes with nothing. This is the reason why some women don't even want to have black men anymore, black boys anymore. He's the reason. And they're ignorant for thinking that, but he's encouraging them.
Yeah, I agree. It was like half the stuff that he was, more than half the stuff that he was talking about wasn't even black issues. They was just modern society issues that occur, but they was not race related at all.
Yeah, and I agree, and like I agree with clients on that one. But I always wondered, like, why did it seemed like he was just, like I said, if you go to his channel, it's like directly at black women, even if the issues were not, like you said, it doesn't have to deal with black women only. You could done it with other races of people have done that too. So it's just that I've said this before, even though like even like I've said this, I've had my gripes with black women, but overall, I love black women. I appreciate black women, and there are black women in my life that, like, I can say that made me a better person that I've learned from, I've loved, and like, and even pushed me to do better. So I can never have that type of vitriol of hate of black women is like that. So when I see brothers like that, I'm not going. I'm not gonna lie. It disappoints me a little bit. Like I can understand you don't want to simp, but at the same time, you don't need to berate either. And that's just one of those things where I just like we gotta. Is I guess the solution is like, what do we do with people like that? I guess, and I
You
leave
don't
that.
do nothing.
You don't
I
think we
have
do
an
that?
idea. I do have
You
an
just
idea.
you just don't acknowledge them. I think don't really acknowledge them or address what they're saying, like we doing right now. Just what they're saying, and then move on with them. But I mean, there's nothing really to do with them. They're individuals.
He
They say think what they gotta say. You could debunk it and just leave it at that.
That's what Hitler did, and look at the Jews now. I'm just keeping it real. Cause it's one guy that
I'm
said
about to get this
amen.
whole channel blocked.
No, it's okay. That's factual. That's factual. It's
No,
okay.
that
That's
if
all
we
that's
keep
factual.
You
ignoring this issue, we're
you
gonna
can't
have
you can't speak facts on these. You leave me my child. Go ahead, Crystal. You got it.
I'm just saying that we've left the man in Germany alone and then millions died. You see, the thing is that it starts with talk and then it starts with this fake ass male power that these motherfuckers have. And then they're going to want to go out and do something physically. You see, it doesn't just stop at verbal fuckery, okay? It goes further. And we're going to see it as it moves on, but at the end of the day, I personally feel that men like this should marry someone that, you know, low key is part of a group to poison his ass. Because at the end of the fucking day, I can't deal with ignorance like that. It grows and grows and grows until the point that we have movements, these fake ass movements, that's just outbreeding their own.
Father and D Wolf done into the chat. How y'all doing? Hello.
Hello.
Hello?
Did D-Wolf go already? Hello?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Don't
Sound
play.
like
I can hear
somebody
Don't
you,
do
opening
not.
food.
Father.
This has nothing to do with anything, but do not play Tekken 7 with a PS5 controller. This thing is hell.
Oh, that's disappointing. It's not food or chips or anything that you can eat.
There's a lot of clickety clack going.
There's a lot of clickety clack. All right. Can you hear me, D Wolf? I don't know. I can't even hear D Wolf, so I think Jesse's kicking both their ass. Uh, any last words before we move on to our next topic?
Well, I'm
Whatever.
like you can address them, you could clown them, but like I don't know. I like realistically speaking, I don't know what you can really do with those types.
I think society needs to stop. Like, you know, I
Huh?
guess they want another Kevin Samuel so bad, but they have to be realistic. There's only one Kevin Samuel, and this guy right here that you just showed me today, he is he is him. Whatever, I don't even remember his name, and I'm probably not gonna remember it.
Good.
Um, he is himself, and they are not the same people. And if this was never brought up again in my existence, I wouldn't even mind. I would care. And I
There,
probably won't
there,
never watch this stuff either. So
there was other Kevin Samuels before Kevin Samuels. It's just that Kevin Samuels, his delivery and his setup brought it to, if you will, the mainstream. But there's been a lot of other people like Kevin Samuels. I'm pretty sure you know about some of them, Raymond.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know a couple of them.
but when I say, first of all, it's like saying Kevin Samuel was the only Kevin Samuel. Whoever was before that was doing their stuff, them. That's like saying, oh, like Kevin Hart and Dave Chappelle. Those are two, like, we need to stop putting people's name on other people's craft. They all run in the same era of, like, let's say, you know, this self help or whatever they consider their, like, genre of, I
Hmm.
guess. But he is not Kevin Samuel, and Kevin Samuel is not him. And same way Dave Chappelle is not Kevin Hart, and Kevin Hart is not Dave Chappelle. Or, all these other comedians, like, they have their own way.
Their own flavor, their own, yeah.
Yeah. So we gotta stop putting, just because they're black, oh, they have to be like, it's only one person that can stand the throne. This guy, he has a following because clearly he's getting views. I just won't be one of them adding to his views.
He popped up
Yeah,
in my
well,
recommendations.
he ain't Kevin Sam. That guy ain't Kevin Samuels because Kevin Samuels actually hosted events to get people together.
Mm-hmm.
He,
Little
You
dating
see, he
shows
came
and
with a solution.
Yeah,
that little
yeah.
clip you
He
showed
had
me.
meetups.
Oh,
That
that's
clip you just
nice.
showed me, Ray, was very much toxic, and
That
Can
was
I
all
know
anyone
Dr.
toxic.
Umar would get him together real quick.
can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Everything you do, finally got your
I was
your
saying
microphone to work.
yeah. Now I was wondering, did anyone notice what he was using to light his cig?
what'd you say? What'd you say, D Wolf?
Did y'all notice what he was using to light his cig?
What was he using?
You
Was it
know
a
that
big?
long like bic? Like that's how you know this is bullshit, yo. A real dude would have like a lighter, right? Or at least light a match. But this one has that long shit. Like you would normally see women use that, light their candles in the house or, at the bath or something like that. But he's there acting like it's all cool, lighting it with that long ass. I'm like, you don't see a guy using that. I'm like that. I don't know. That just shot out at me. That was just loud to me when I was watching. Like what straight dude does? Like I don't. Not even straight.
Ah!
It's like what? Nobody does this. Lighting it as it's cool. Like he's backing it. Like he's trying to be like the old heads and shit. Like he's wise or something. Like they will smack you if you ever light a thing or anything like that with that. You sick? Son, that shit was just funny to me. I'm sorry. I know it's way off of like what it's about, but this it just yeah. I was wondering if anyone noticed
I didn't see the
Wasn't
whole
he
video.
bald?
No, I didn't actually watch the video. I watched it when he just put it up, but initially when I first watched it, I was actually listening to it.
I
Mhm.
don't
while I
know
was
if it's
working.
bald crystal, but his fedora doesn't fit his head. It kind of like covers his head like a damn
Yeah,
uh
he reminded me of old school pimp
Good.
with the hat.
That
Pimpin', pimpin',
is,
pimpin'.
he was far from an old school pimp. That man was damaged good. That was left at the damn port. That was shipped
I
from a different
just,
country, and nobody went to pick it up, and because it was damaged. And that's what he is.
I would
Damaged
just like,
good.
I would. This is the last thing I'm gonna say on this topic because even talking about it, it's just irritating. Um, I was just like, if black men are gonna talk about black women as if we're like all tied up on a farm and we're all the fucking same, even though we're versatile, different complexions, different ways that we're raised, different areas that we're raised in the world. If you're gonna keep rounding us up to speak on YouTube to get your bills paid, can you at least have a solution, a legit one? Can you at least have like therapy sessions or something of growth? All I hear these niggas do is talk about what the black woman's doing and no solution. It's so annoying. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I would just leave it at this. We should just I feel like Shining Wolf does have a point, but if he's already like that at the ripe old age or whatever the fuck he is, because he's probably in his late 30s, early 40s, he's probably already broken. So
Set in
your
his
best bet
ways.
is to just, you know, focus on the youth at that time and like hopefully, show that, not
Why you keep
every
saying he's 30?
I said late 30s, early 40s. I just
Man, first of all, Kevin Samuel was 56 years old. This man got to be in his 70s.
I saw a little gray hair and whatever
The
beard he
reason
got.
why is because the older a person is, the harder for them to change. This man is definitely like if Kevin Samuel is in his 50s and he looked like he probably was in his 30s, 40s, or whatever. This man right here gotta be from that oversized suit he had on,
The
that
oversized
baby
Steve Harvey suit.
fedora, Gap fedora, that draining cigar. He's gotta be in his 70s.
Okay. On to, all right. On to the next topic. I want. Obviously, if
Who
you
do
seen this,
that?
if you seen the stream yesterday, we streamed the Daily Rap Crew, and it made me think about this question. And today, obviously, Father and D will today we are going to be about solutions. So it conjured up this question that I had that because I feel like there's things that I feel like if you explain parenting in today's world to a lot of older people won't get. And I feel like you see a lot of older people not liking the way a lot of modern people are raising their kids now. So I um my question to the panel was always what are things that, especially for the people with kids, what are things that you feel like as a parent you can take from them and then you can leave behind?
Well, I'll let, I'll let somebody else go first. I guess I'm saying. So yeah. Well, I actually think that something I would take from the old generation is not giving your child as many choices on what they're going to do and what they want to do and what they don't want to do. Some things you should have your child do and have them become accustomed to for the betterment of their future.
I like that. I like that answer.
I think ass whooping need to come back into this new generation. We can show enough bring that thing up. Um, I'm not
The
saying
belt.
child abuse might not need to come, but definitely some ass whooping need to
You
come.
talking about that belt?
That belt, had them go to the tree and get their little switch.
You talking about
'Cause
that pootie tang? That pootie tang combat?
these kids right now, you can clearly tell they ain't getting none. It was crazy because back then you used to see white kids, turning up, acting crazy, and you used to just be like, "Uh, they parents don't have no control." And now you seeing black kids with the same personality that we saw, like the white kids was having.
But you know what sucks about giving kids whoopings, and I had to learn the hard way. Um, the girl children, they get it. They get it. They'll back off. But the boy children, as they get older, and you still trying to like rough them up or slap them up behind their head in public and shit like that, they take that shit hard and they start rebelling. And one day my son just looked at me and said, "That's it." So I said, I can't do this. My arm is tired. I'm huffing and puffing. This ain't for me. So, due to a
They start
certain
getting
That's
hit by
situation.
men. They start getting hit by men.
Yeah,
That's what
it's
that was.
right. You know
And in
what?
comparison, it's not the
Yeah,
same.
it is not the same. It really isn't because when his dad hit him, it's a whole different ball game. But I realized that it was hurting him on an emotional level, and I didn't want my son to think it's okay for a grown ass woman when he gets an adult to put hands on him.
Mhm.
I didn't want him to teach. I didn't want to teach him that because I've had girl children for a reason. If he can't hit the girl, get your sisters. But that's on another level. I just don't want him to be in a situation where he even has to think that that's okay. So yeah, I do think whoopings help,
Powerful.
but I don't think that I don't think that you gotta continue. And it hurts. It
No,
it
no.
does really hurt boy children, man. It just. I'm not saying that girl children don't get hit, but they listen a lot more than boy children. I don't care what anybody says. Boys be testing you. Like, I wonder if what I can get away with today. But
Mhm.
yeah, as a woman, learning my motherhood now, I learned a lot putting hands on my kid, my son especially.
That's that testosterone. That's why they be rebelling against that shit. That
Mhm.
I'd say
And they
testosterone,
know
the
the
son
role
of a
in the
bitch.
house.
I'd
And
say
they do
do
know
what
the role
works.
in the house because they be looking at the mom like, I can't believe she talking to me like that. Dad, like, no, we not doing this. Y'all ain't ganging up on me.
Mm.
I'd say just do what works, man. Um, hmm. I had it, just left me. It just left me. Okay, so I think it's because we need to just cut off. I think it's social media. I think it's the access to the internet and the phone at such a young age that, and there's such a separation. There's a disconnect because of it. Nobody's doing anything anymore. Nobody's taking their kids out. It's not, certain places that it is, but you could tell what's going on based on who was doing this and who was doing that, who's active, being with family, traveling, stuff like that, or or at least going to their friend's house and so. But now we're just instant access. We're getting into stupid trends. This is and it's starting at a young age, and like the parents, some of them don't even know what's going on, and like some of the parents join in. So like it's like it's damn. So I say, just let's just chill with this. This ain't necessary for life. We didn't have this social like at this level, yo. This much access to everything like this. Nah, we had a waiting period. We had to listen to certain sounds through dial up. We had to wait. Okay, what was it? 56. What was it again? You know,
America Online.
You couldn't
yeah,
even you couldn't even listen to your favorite song immediately. You had to wait for the other songs to play on the radio first.
exactly. It was a chore. That was something to do when you came home from having fun. Because you're done. You sit home. You could use the computer. Nothing to do. So you could
Good
wait.
old 911.
But nah, you were doing shit, yo. And there was no stupid trend. Whatever you did, you discovered on your own. The parents were paying attention, yo. They were always asking where they ain't doing some stupid shit, you know? Or some of the things, these trends with the kids, and like now you're your kid's best friend. What the fuck is this? No, you're not supposed to be your kid's best. What are you doing? You're the parent, yo. So let's calm this down. And now they're making money off of them. Like, so this generation, imagine. So when the old heads are looking down at it, it's like, yo, what? A joke. So it's I
But
don't
the
know. So
old
I
head, the
say,
old
because you
heads,
said solutions, so I'm like, yeah, let's stop that. Let's cut that off. It ain't necessary.
but I got a problem with the old heads too, though. The old heads like to tell you like how you can live your life current day, but they don't understand what's going on in the current day. So they can't really pass on appropriate wisdom to the kids because they not hip on what's happening today. Because what's happening today and what's happening like 40 years ago is completely different thing. Like when they like how these boomers like to say, "Oh, you kids today are lazy. You still live with your parents and you live in apartments. You don't have houses." Well, the housing market is completely different now than it was back then.
It's too expensive now.
Yes, so it's like I don't really care too much about what people who are very old got to say because they're not living in the same situations.
Honestly, I think we need to be careful with that type of like talk because we're gonna be old one day. We're gonna be in that exact same situation. So be
We
very
already are.
careful. You know what I'm
Well, I mean,
saying?
if you're in that same situation, you need to be hip on what's going on. That way,
Yeah,
you
but
can better. Yeah,
sometimes it's not that obvious. They're living in an entirely new like world paradigm. So sometimes it is not that obvious. We think it's obvious because it's in our face, but sometimes for those old people, they're stuck with what they know and they don't venture off too far into the unknown. So it just may be just that they're ignorant. You feeling what I'm saying? So that's why I'm saying y'all need to be careful when y'all say that because sometimes it's not just as simple as they're old and they're boomers. Sometimes it's yo, this is an entirely new fucking world I'm in, and to even try to even enter it without any type of like buffer or without any type of guide is going to overwhelm them because it's an overwhelming amount of information that we have at our fingertips. Think of it back then. The pace was a lot slower because you needed to write shit down back then. You needed to tell someone back then. Now we sending things like at a fucking blink of a fucking tap of a button. That's overwhelming for a lot of people. So that's what I'm saying. Like it's like I agree in the sense that they are ignorant to what's going on today, but for the fact that they had to grow up in way different circumstances than we have, it also works to their benefit to why they are that ignorant. So that's all I'm saying.
yeah. I hear
That's
you.
what I
And
I feel
said.
like this. I feel like this is another reason why they say you should have kids young because not young, but when you like what like late mid 20s, early 30s, probably because you can kind of still keep up and relate to what's going on in the world in the youth a little bit.
Yeah, but the
well,
problem with that is that's dependent on the state of the world. If the state of the world is in constant repression, a recession and depression, then people are going to have less kids because they can't afford them.
And they're gonna have them later too.
They're going to have them later. So it's like we're going to have a generation of kids that's probably going to be raised by people that are like pretty old because of the circumstances of what we're dealing with right now. And the funniest thing about it all is that all of this could have been completely avoidable if we just kept up. If like not only just politics, but the people that vote the most just kept up with what people were saying, but they don't do that. we're stuck in echo chambers. That's why it's so difficult to get shit done in America, because everyone's in a damn echo chamber.
You know how many times certain things come up, certain circumstances come up, and you're like, and you remember when your parent or grandparent said something, and you're like, you didn't get it. You're like, shut up, or whatever. It just shit just went wrong because you didn't listen. Then you get, and then fast forward to that moment, and you're like, oh, I get it. Shit, and you feel it.
It doesn't hit you until you're older.
Yeah, you're like, oh my god, now I know why they did that. Now I know, because they did. Oh, I would. What? Yeah. So.
Yeah, that just happens because some things don't change.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was saying. I started at a young age. Like that's what I said. Like because that question was about solutions, and I was like, yeah, that's what we should start. So at a young age, it's done proper. And we know we're discussing it. We're like, yo, we know what works. So that so if we start them, let's get off of this stuff because look at what it's doing. Like right now, look what it shows. We talk about things that's going on the internet now. Kids now, like, imagine them on this stuff. Fast forward, like everything's like they're not even in tune with anything around them anymore. Like nature, there's no empathy. There's like all that's being stripped away because you're just focusing on this one thing. You're not seeing the world, So we know, like us, we know this. We're having this discussion. We'll be able to be like, all right, let's start there. Hopefully, someone listening is like, all right, let me try that.
They're not touching the grass.
Yeah. I think with this modern parenting, a lot of these kids are so much of adults now that it's crazy to me. Like they dress in adult forms, like they working. I'm like, yo, what happened to being little kids?
There's no tween phase. That's what it is. Remember when there was a tween phase?
Yeah. Like I said, remember the parents are joining. The parents are joining. So.
No, because like back then, only kids, like only little toddlers, like 2Z, 3Z, 4Zs, or 5Zs that you saw that was wearing makeup, they more than likely was like pageant kids. So now, kids ain't doing nothing in life but making TikTok videos, full-fledged makeup on at the age of 3. Weave like lace frontal, all the way to they kneecaps. At like 5 years old, I'm just like, wow. Is this a little person adult?
Who's raising them? The TV or the internet?
The internet. That's
Which one's
who it
more
is.
dangerous?
So they
both. Well, the TV's kind of extinct. I mean, like people these days don't really watch TV. They stream things on the internet, and they watch things on social media, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. TV's becoming somewhat of a dinosaur. They're struggling to survive at this point. TV networks, like Cartoon Network. And who really watching Cartoon Network? They're watching stuff on Netflix and Hulu nowadays, or Disney Plus.
I was raised on watching Disney.
Oh, you lucky!
The channel. I stayed on Disney. Or Lifetime.
I used to stay on Disney, Cartoon Network, all that stuff. But now it's going to streaming.
Yeah, Nickelodeon.
Yeah. No, the kids need to get back to Sesame
Basically,
Street.
the Turner channels.
Arthur.
But now they have like this Cartoon Network at night. Oh, Arthur, Hey Arnold, Doug.
Okay, I'm probably gonna show my age.
Barney.
Wishbone, Ghost Riders.
Like, Barney, to me, I thought Barney taught me how to read, write, talk.
Barney scared me. What's in that bag? That's what I want to know. What's really in that bag?
Well, he found a lot of things: gizmos, gadgets, odds and ends, and even some old string.
I don't know if all of y'all
That's
remember
funny.
about the big comfy couch. The girl, like it was
Yes,
Oh
the
yeah, I just
clown.
saw a
Man, when she be
documentary about
doing
her,
them
son.
and,
stretches,
Oh my
and the
gosh, the
Teletubbies.
clock.
Like I was
when
raised
she
on a
do them
Breakfast Kid
stretches,
show.
I
All
think
right,
I hit puberty
who bought
early.
up nostalgia? Who did it? God damn
Who?
it.
What
Who
show?
bought up nostalgia? Look at y'all. About to go off on a tangent. Get on topic. Yeah, I did it. I stopped it.
Thank you.
uh,
When Molly did them stretches, though, man, I hit puberty early then. Woo.
yo, you know what's funny? Because someone did mention Hey Arnold. I was like, Hey Arnold was very grown for a children's cartoon.
With that big old football head
A
with the
lot of
little.
them shows were grown. That's Told by Ginger was
Mhm.
grown. Fucking what was that show? 16? That
Yeah,
was grown. Kim Possible had his grown moments.
Yeah, it didn't.
Teen Titans was hella grown.
yeah.
I don't care what nobody say.
Teen
Well,
Titans
because
still going on to this day.
that was back in they were cartoons were a little bit more edgy than they are now.
Yeah, when grown men used to beat up on teenagers,
And
a
nah,
man Slade.
he beat
Yeah.
the shit.
She just turned around. She's like, "Ain't nothing there." Next thing you know, Slade just sucker punch Raven. It's like, "Bitch, I'm here." I was like,
Yeah,
"It's the most fucked
true to
up," but I
form,
laugh so
yo.
hard every time I watch that scene. It's like,
True to form.
she's
Why
like,
is
"What
this
happened?"
so low?
Nah, that nigga Slade was there.
I was like, I don't know if she said live streaming has started or ended. I was like,
It
is
started.
she whispering?
It started. Okay. Any last words before we move on to our next topic?
I just want empathy to be brought back into classrooms and don't take it so like everything's on a computer. When they go home, they're still on a computer. I need them to have to go to the library like the rest of us back in the day and speak to each other and actually have conversations, not emoji conversations. That don't fucking count. Like even the boomers and the well, if the boomers still exist, or
They
the
still
older
here.
generation, good. Um or the older generation, the reason why they even knew about half of the stuff is because the information was passed on from person to person versus the internet with misinformation. And they're just going off on that. I just want empathy to be brought back in the classroom and conversations. Conversations ain't there, and COVID did not help. Because when I
Mm.
was in a toddler class and they had their mouth covered up, and I'm like trying to make face
Mm,
expressions with the toddlers,
mm.
they were just looking at my eyes. So, we're going to have a generation where they're going to be a little bit mentally challenged when it comes to emotions because of the 2 or 3 years of one being isolated, playing with toys by themselves and not, conversating with other kids or,
They
learning how
rely
to
on that
share.
in the
And
development.
yeah, it was very challenging. And even you see it with one on one with the toddlers now. They don't really know how to interact. So we're gonna have a lot of children, unfortunately, that are introverts and don't know how to socialize, and it could be dire for their learning process. It's scary to just to think about it. And then we have internet everywhere you go. So yeah, the next generation. This should be interesting. That's all I gotta say.
Y'all cooked. That's what she said.
It
Well,
sure
yeah,
did. See, like I said, this is going to be a podcast about solutions. So,
the introvert thing is really going to hit because of the technology thing. The better technology you get, the more introverts you're going to see. People ain't even going to date no more because they're going to have the little virtual reality uh
Mm-hmm.
virtual reality dating a virtual girl. They got the little thing that beats you off while you in virtual reality, so it'll simulate the little virtual girl riding you and stuff. It's going to be
Mm-hmm.
crazy.
yo,
Yo,
what's the AI joint that a lot of people was talking about at first? It's
Chat
like your AI,
GBT. That
not ChatGPT, but it was just like you had an AI girlfriend, and it was an actual app. I can't remember.
I don't remember the name of it.
It's like it had a premium. The sad part, it had a premium mode where it's just like the AI app will send you lewd pictures, and
Oh
I said
God.
we have not fallen that far yet. I was like,
Nah, but notice, like, all I'm saying is notice the demographic of people who are developing this shit. The people
replica.
that are
It's
built,
called
yeah.
replica.
So I'm just saying, notice the demographic of people who are building this shit and who are spearheading this shit. It's coming from a certain demographic. Black people aren't the ones doing this. That's all I'm saying. Because when it comes to us, we understand the importance of human to human relationship. It's the basis
It's
of everything
very
we fucking do.
important.
It's very
Hmm.
important. We don't fuck with that shit. You feeling what I'm saying? We don't come up with little different apps and avatars and shit like that. This is coming from a group of people who have their who like they love being in fantasy world. You feeling what I'm saying? Like, nigga, look at who's the biggest demographic for video games. That's all I'm saying.
Is it the Asians or Caucasians?
Cause think of
All
it like
right,
this.
yo, that's a good question because think about this.
Because they both love fantasy very much.
If you want to get rich, just invent something that makes people lazy. So
Escape from the
just look at all
reality.
these delivery services now, right? Like Grubhub, Postmates, all that stuff. And you said Asian, like I'm thinking, yeah, DoorDash was like one of the first ones, and it's fucking Korean. But yeah, man. So yeah,
Okay.
people are just getting lazy.
Oh yeah.
And that's the
Like I
internet
said,
for you, man. They're just gonna fall into it. It's so easy. It's so easy.
we're going to be
Convenience.
Wally. I keep saying Wale. We're going to be like that story Wally really, really soon. So
That's something I actually noticed about. That's something that Asians and white people have in common is they both like kind of excel in the fantasy realm. In the fantasy realm, Hollywood, America, Hollywood is the biggest movie industry in the world. And then you got like Asia with anime and their movies. There's very prominent. If you look at a lot of areas with like Africans, Hispanics, their movies ain't as big time as Asians and white people's movies. You know what I'm talking about?
Well,
yeah.
yeah, nah, and the only reason why I'm gonna speak on it is because I literally grew up watching Hollywood movies, and the movies there are mainly for their people, and it's mainly to teach like morals and values about their culture. You feel
Hmm.
what I'm saying? There's a lesson in
Yeah,
every single movie, and every single one of those movies is relatable as shit. That's why they don't do the whole big budgets and shit. You see, like most of the budget is actually spent on like what's it called? Like clothing and costume
Marketing.
yeah.
because they want to make the people in Hollywood look good. They want to dress them in the finest like Nigerian attire so that it's relatable and people get to actually see themselves in the film. You feel what I'm saying? But
Hmm.
in America and in Asia, it's like an industry. It's like an entire they
Yeah.
export that to other fucking countries. You
It's
feel what
big
I'm saying?
business.
Yeah,
They
it's
turn
big business.
fantasy into big business and not
Yeah,
just into like moral lessons like it was back in the day. Like
and
the whole little fairy tales and stuff they used to be made to teach kids and people in the community lessons.
yeah, exactly. You feel
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So
But you
they
know
do that
what?
shit. Go ahead.
Sorry. You know what? I I just realized something. You did mention that the AI creation for this dating app is created by a certain race of people. Isn't that certain race of people being in Fantasyland? Is that the reason why they're, you know, going to be extinct soon?
Oh,
Well,
I know who you're talking about.
so okay, Crystal. No, Crystal.
I know that.
You actually bring up something
You
very,
talk
very,
about the
very
ones that
important.
bought us anime.
I'm just saying, in
Yeah,
China,
yeah.
their economy's going downhill because they're not making enough babies. And now the Caucasians, the same ones that's creating these AI apps to take place, they're going extinct.
Same
And I,
thing.
I think
Yeah.
it has something to do with human to human contact.
I think they live in their mind too much and not in reality. That's what it is.
Right.
So no, it what's interesting about that, Crystal. Now notice y'all was talking about like China and Japan and like Korea. Those are the countries that are like experiencing declines when it comes to birth, right? But
Hmm.
Hmm.
it isn't it very interesting? Philippines is not having that problem. Vietnam did not
because
have
they're
them.
really black, but they don't want to fucking confess it. They're
Mm,
like the Dominicans.
mm,
It's
Let me
true.
not go the
It's
fuck
true.
off because
mm.
Filipinos. Let me tell you who was the first origins of that country. Okay, and I've mentioned the name. I think it's the Ada tribe. They are full Africans,
Yes.
but let's pretend that Filipino. You know why Filipinos are noticed long as like the bottom of the tadpole of the Asian community because they have black in them. I'm not stupid. Oh, we are going to address this shit. Filipinos are legit have black in them, but they don't even identify that. Look at their nose, look at their structure, look at their history. So, yeah, they would not have a decline. And it's funny, they have a high decline of single moms, but nobody mentions that either. So, yeah, they definitely have.
I've heard that from a Korean.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Um.
That they're like the blacks of the Asian world. Koreans actually think that.
By
Listen,
the
any
way,
community that is the blacks of anything, like the Dominican is the blacks of Latinos. If you have the Filipinos, they're the bottom of the tadpole, but nobody addresses that shit. I see shit for what it is.
I just want to say there so within that region that you were talking about, Crystal, they have a word, Akan. And it's so great because Akan is my ethnic group. That's the name of my ethnic group.
Hmm.
Mm,
So they inhabited it first.
mm. That's all I'm
um.
saying, bro.
Hey, you gotta throw that in there. Also, D Wolf, to answer your question, video gamers demographics by race and country. In the United States, about 215 million of all ages regularly engage. Female gamer statistics for 2019. Female gamers make up 38% of Asia's. Female gamers like make up about 38% of Asia's total gamer population. Um, in the esports market in China is the largest in the world, 434 1.8 billion mobile gamers, and I think I saw somewhere. Here we go. Um, According to 2022 video game demographics, of 71 of American gamers are white.
Thank you.
Okay.
How many? How many? How many?
71% of American gamers are white. The
Okay.
second largest ethnic group are with 10% are Hispanic, 8% are African American, 7% are Asian or Pacific Islands, and 3% other ethnicities.
I wanted
According
to
to
talk
the
about
video game
YouTubers.
demographics, 70% of African Americans age 13 and older play video games. And also, China has the most gamers out of all countries, with an estimated 742 million in 2022. So there you go. I feel like that answers somebody's questions.
That explains a lot.
Yeah,
Actually.
yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does. Okay, on to our next topic. And I'm pretty sure everybody has heard this before. Like, black people are not a monolith, but we have always everybody's probably encountered someone saying that we are not black enough. So us to come up with a solution is how, because I feel like it hurts us in a way, because a lot of people, even other races, when they think of black people, they think of probably the most ratchet of ratchets. But how, as
Hip
we as
hop
black
culture,
people,
probably.
see, I don't want to say blame hip hop culture entirely,
Yeah,
because
that's what I'm saying.
because hip hop culture has some conscious shit in it too. It's not just all ratchet. Like, there's, you got your Public Enemy, you got your KRS One, you got your Commons, there's a lot of but I think the gangster culture is what a lot of people are drawn to. So when you see people do like anything like alternative, I'm gonna just say alternative, people look at that as not black. So how do we get a lot of people to open that up to us, to be invested in things other than, let's just say, gangster culture?
Well, the first thing that you have to do is get them out of certain environments. That's the very first step. Because if you lock people into a certain environment, the only
Mm-hmm.
thing that they'll know is what's in that environment. If you're
Mm-hmm.
stuck in the hood, you're gonna do hood shit. You can take the nigga out the hood, but you can't take the hood out the nigga. Isn't that the phrase?
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's the first step. Get them out the fucking hood and get them into places where they get to experience different cultures and get to learn from different cultures in a way that's digestible to them. For example,
Mm-hmm.
like if I mean, so like Crystal, you're Caribbean, I'm African.
Yep.
We share
Mm-hmm.
many fucking similarities because of our shared history, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if somebody, let's say from let's say somebody from the Philippines comes in, dark skinned person from the Philippines, but you can tell there's a lot of differences through our similarities, but we can relate through the fact that we both experience colorism and shit like that, right?
Right.
That would mean that I can dig deep into their culture and see where that comes from because I can relate. You feeling what I'm
Right.
saying? That opens up lines of dialogue. And not only does that open up lines of dialogue, now you have another point of reference to your struggle. Because it's not only you that had that struggle, it's somebody around this world that you've never met before that also has that struggle. Black people need to immerse themselves in that because for the longest time we've been bamboozled to believe that we were on our own this entire time. But lo and behold, we have a whole bunch of people that went through like similar situations, or let me just say they dealt with the same motherfucker that bit us all. You feel what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
that's how you start it. Get them out of that toxic ass environment. Get them into places where they get to meet certain people and experience certain people. You start off with people that they can relate to better. So, for like Black Americans, of course, you want to link them up with more Africans and Caribbeans and things like that. So you guys can literally compare history because all of our histories are intertwined. You feel what I'm saying? White people do this shit all the motherfucking time. That's why they be having debates on who's better, Napoleon or Julius Caesar. Like, nigga, you feeling what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's all they do is like, bro,
Yeah.
if you go on YouTube right now, like they have shrines of their fucking history. You feeling what I'm
Mm.
saying?
And they love them Vikings too, boy.
They love them Vikings. They love fucking reenacting the Civil War. They love fucking dressing up in medieval England where they throw poop out the fucking window. They love all that shit.
Yo,
You feeling what I'm saying? Like,
so you're getting into my solution, where I was
oh,
going to say, teach them true history, like the real history,
simple as that.
because very similar to what you said. Okay, because I was thinking about something like what uppity really means, right? Because we think of it as something else, and if we knew what it actually meant, we'd be like, oh, we wear that with pride. What you mean? Because back in the day, you understand, there was plenty of black royalty, and this is how they acted. So like I start to think, and I'm like, yo, we're pushing back against something that's fucking ours, because you can't speak a certain way as a man of color without the opposite race thinking something else. And like if you're not, and you now, I lost my train of thought. Oh god, I hate that.
It's okay, brother. Take your time, brother. Take your
It'll come back. It'll come back. What was I saying? What were my last words? If you remember.
shoot. It was knowing history.
We talk about the uppity.
He
You
was
talking about
talking
the
about the
Oh
uppity
yeah,
and
if we
uppity,
know
how
knowing
what
history.
uppity
we,
meant. Oh yeah, so
yeah.
yeah, it means acting like that. So it's like you're proper.
Yeah.
There's no need for slang or anything like that. But they're the ones that remember. They're the ones that were the savages. We had to civilize them. Remember this,
Yes, we did.
Yes,
Yes,
they
I
okay?
did.
got you.
They didn't even
So
know how to bathe if it wasn't
now
for
when
us.
the roles are reversed
They
and
still
now
don't
we're
like doing it.
enslaved and shit like that, but we're acting better than them, what word do you think they're gonna call us? Uppity.
They don't like
Right?
using washcloths.
So, and it's like an upper class type of demeanor because that's what we were before y'all, did y'all shit. So, yeah. So we teach them that. So that way I'm like, yo, so you don't have any reason to compare yourself with these people or whoever's opposite. You have pride in what you are, who you are. There's no reason to be like a certain way, to act a certain way, to have them fear you. No, you already have that power. That's known. There's no reason for pushback anymore. There's no reason for comparison games. No, for what?
Hey, speaking about civilizing, did y'all hear that podcast where this white man and this white woman was talking about they feel like using washcloths were for poor people?
Yeah.
Oh, you heard
Wow.
this?
That's why I had like that little meme of the little white guy washing with a loofah. Because a loofah is so much better than a washcloth.
History repeats itself so much.
And then they wonder why whenever they step into different continents, all them niggas started dying off.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, they be using their hands. I hear they be using their hands. Whenever I encounter, especially when I encounter a black woman who dated a white dude, she usually tell me that they be washing with the soap bar in their hand, and they just be rubbing it into their body. They don't use an exfoliation of any kind.
Okay, so when I was
dirty
going
bastard.
to when I went to microbiology class, they showed like a thin skin because we were learning about anatomy too. So they brought in like a thin skin from someone. Yes, it was a dead person. I was going to nursing school, and we saw so much things on that skin that was only, I would say, an hour of dead tissue. Okay. We saw so much shit on that dead skin, and that person did not take a shower before they passed. Let me tell you something. Ever since that day, I don't even get a washcloth. I get the one that you have a glove, both gloves, and it's really rough. Okay, and I scrub the hell out of myself because I'm a little traumatized from that. So to know that somebody's just taking their hand and putting soap on their body, you're just putting perfume on top of dirt, ma'am, sir, whatever you
Pretty
are.
much.
Because that's disgusting. That's nasty.
You have to think about the implications of that too. If you act like that when it comes to a shower, then even just common courtesy you're gonna fucking not have, because there's nothing more common courtesy than fucking smelling pleasant whenever you go out. Now, Ray, let me ask you a question. How many motherfuckers in that school we had to take a motherfucking shower?
A lot.
It was embarrassing. We had to physically, you remember when we had to physically go out and buy somebody deodorant?
Yeah.
Like we were somebody's mother?
Yeah.
It happens. I've bought somebody toothpaste before.
Father Raymond.
Mm-hmm.
Father Raymond. I don't know if y'all experienced this, but when I go to those cons, those mixed race cons where it's just like everybody go,
oh no,
you get real close to some of them pale boys, them pale boys. It smell like caked up dirt and bologna.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But when you go to Blur condo, you don't even be smelling shit like that for real.
No, I don't think I've smelled anyone that would smell bad in Blurcon.
I remember Otakon. I was at the rave. Somebody walked past me. I caught a whiff of their wig, and I swear to God, I wanted to fight.
Nigga.
Just do the Cuban gun, Jimmy, just start swinging and shit. Just
Father was hopping back and forth, going throwing jabs and shit. Like, I'm ready for him. I'm ready.
My nigga, I swear to God, I was about to rain fucking Bible verses on that ass if I caught
I know what happened. I know what happened to that wig. That person was fucking in that wig.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, I've seen that.
And role playing and shit, and forgot to wash the wig, and probably cum got into it.
The wig,
Mm-mm.
the wind that the wig had when they walked past me smelled fucking rancid.
Oh
It
my
was
Mm.
god.
so it was so bad, and I'm sitting there and I'm just like, why would you allow yourself, like, sir, like, mind you, it was hot as shit in that room, and I was sweating, and I still smelled better than like 99% of that entire fucking raid.
And that's a
I
damn
believe
shame.
you.
So whatever you had
In
on
my
you, it wasn't
sweatiest.
caked up like they did. That shit was they marinated in that dirt.
Yeah, cause like it's another thing too. It's like like because I'm African, I wear a lot of like cocoa butters and Vaselines and shit like that. Like the cocoa butter I have right now is imported straight from Ivory Coast. Straight. So when I sweat, it don't have a stink. That's what it's there
Mhm.
for. You feel what I'm saying? It doesn't have an odor. It's just the water coming out. It's not like the stuff that's keeping my body, like the minerals that my body has, because that's where like the must comes from, because you have like certain enzymes and shit in your body that secretes and shit. So
Mhm.
if you smell musty, it's because you haven't been washing very well, or the lotion you're using is trash.
Or you're just putting soap on top of dirt.
Is he has a point.
I'm sorry. How the fuck you wash? How the fuck you wash yourself with soap and then the soap ball come out dirtier than you?
I've seen that. I've actually seen that.
That's
You'd
I
be
think
trauma.
surprised.
Oh,
I think they're forgetting that soap is made with oil.
Mm.
mm.
So you're putting oil on top of oil and it's
Yeah.
just fragrancy. Alright.
This is
All right, so real quick, Crystal. So like what type of soap would you like recommend, since you said that they're pretty oily? Is there something like you look for specifically?
Well, I have a process. So the first thing you do is you have like a little bottle that has like the squirt top on top, and you put vinegar and half water. You put that on your neck and in areas that you can't really get to, like under your arm, between your butt crack and stuff like that. Okay. You let that simmer. Then the soap that you get is black soap, and it can't be that Mickey Mouse shit at Walmart. You go to like the herbal places. I'm dead ass. They talk about
nah.
this is
No, no,
black
no, no, no.
soap.
I've had black soap. That shit is legit the best thing ever.
I have some in my
Yeah.
bathroom right now.
Go to the Whole Foods market if you can't get to a herbal store where you walk in and the incense hits your face, okay? Go to a Whole Foods market and get you some black soap. And then when you get your ass out the shower, rub down with either shea butter or coconut oil that is cold pressed. Rub it down, massage yourself. This is how people
Virgin.
their lymphatic system gets all stuck and fucked up with diabetes and you got lumps. Look, when you get out, take care of yourself. Massage your legs, your arms. If you ain't got a partner to do it for you, massage in areas that you typically wouldn't massage with coconut oil, shea butter, castor oil, or even it's another one that I used to use, but I stopped. But just those three oils immediately will make you feel fresh and clean and keep you moisturized. I don't know what people be doing.
It's funny you say that, because like the oil that I was using at the time was almond oil that I bought from an African shop.
Mm,
So,
that's good too.
and
That's
I love,
addicting.
bro, I love it. Yo, it smells so fucking good, bro. I
And
smell like
it's a natural aphrodisiac for you
that's.
guys out
I was
there.
just about to say that shit. I was just about to say that shit too. I was like, this shit smell good as fuck, boy.
That's the only I I use Dr. Bronner's, and that's the only one I use, the almond. And you can use it as a shampoo as well. So I use it to do my hair.
I
Like the only
yeah.
backup
So
is like peppermint. But no. The
yeah, I
almond,
usually
yo.
condition the shit out of my hair. Like I'll put my hair in, I'll wet it up, I'll condition it, and then I'll comb it out throughout the week. Because I actually want to grow out my hair. You want to know what I want? Yo, Ray, Carmelo Hayes hairstyle? That's what
Yeah.
I want.
Mm,
Okay.
all over the
Yeah.
place.
I can see you pulling that off.
So
And I just got one
I'm
more
trying to-
thing, and I've said this on the podcast before. For the women that don't really know how to clean down there, just
Mm.
go in the not even a shower, go in the tub once a week. Put again half vinegar, like a half cup of vinegar or a cup of vinegar, and just some water, and just sit in there for a good 30 minutes. What is so wrong with that? That's the best thing you can do
Yeah.
for your body down there. Because women, from what I'm hearing, they go in all these different kind of men. You don't know what the fuck they got on their dick. They don't even clean their ass properly. The way that we're talking about it on the pod, and then you go in and just wash up and don't even wash up properly. Look, go in the tub, put some vinegar and some water, and soak in that. Period. It'll save you a lot of trouble. But okay, let's pretend that cunts is supposed to smell like mango fruit and other shit like that. And you ain't taking care of your pH balance. Mango with a hint of mint. No, this is not good.
Yo, stop.
Yeah, nah, they be doing they nah, but the sad part is they be doing that shit on purpose. Like they be seeking out those type of fragrances on
And
purpose.
putting depositories up there when they know they have a pH balance problem.
Exactly.
That's
Like, bro.
dangerous. And then they ask got fibroids. Look, take care of your punani. Man, I
Yo,
can't.
there's a reason why. There was a reason why in
People
like
be fighting being healthy. I swear.
yeah, there's a reason why like in traditional relationships, like people who believe in traditional relationships, it's the woman that does the cooking and shit like that. Because the woman, her diet is way more important than anybody in the house. Out of everybody in the
Salt.
house, the woman has to eat right. You feeling what I'm saying? Because
Hmm.
she's the one that has to birth the babies. And after you birth the babies, you still want to be healthy. You still
And
want to
even
have that
that is
vibration.
traditional.
Yeah,
And even
exactly.
that is a tradition. You know what? All the women, thank God they're Caribbean. No offense, but all the women, after I have a baby, my sister just had her 10th baby, okay? Husband and
Woo,
all right? And
woo.
the first thing all of the women in my family ask, you tie up your stomach to get all that crap out of your uterus, okay? We asking her, are you drinking black tea? Are you staying in the house for 30 days? Are you making sure you're not lifting up the baby and stuff like that? You got the man to help you? Like stuff like that. The first thing I do when I'm done having a child is where it's supposed to tie up our stomach really tight, okay?
See
And
that
get all
family
that crap
system
out there.
solutions.
And then we are not supposed to have any sugar in our diet because we're very open. When a woman has a child, how big the wound is in her stomach is the size of a fucking plate. Okay?
Mm.
So if you walking around talking about I'm good, and walking around and eating whatever the hell you want to eat, what you think's gonna happen to you? You gonna be good? Or you gonna create fibroids and cysts and all of that shit? Look,
Mm.
you really have to take care of yourself, especially when you are pregnant. And having a child is a beautiful thing because guess what? That's a free liposuction because after the baby's out, your stomach has to reform. That's the best time to tie up your stomach and give yourself an uplift. But nobody does that. They leave the stomach open. It's a lot of shit that
Because the
women have to
American way
learn.
is a sickness. It is a
Yeah.
It really
sickness.
is.
Yes.
A
It is
lot of women
deviant.
dying.
Therefore, we do not want it.
Solutions.
All right.
That was the
Any
solution.
last words before we move on to our final topic?
Love yourself enough to use a washcloth. It's okay. The fuck?
And when you taking a shower, don't just let the fucking soap from the water wash down to your legs. You fucking disgusting, decrepit asshole.
Hey, let them not use washcloths and then wonder why they're incel because they stink.
Bro, it's more than
Mm.
stink. It's not you that just stink. It's your spirit. Get right with the Lord.
We black. Just remember we are all black.
We black, nigga.
And wash your ass.
And wash your
Wash
ass.
your ass.
And also, I have no problem telling people I'm literally blacker than you. Shut up.
Oh, was I wrong for bringing up the stank thing? Was I wrong for that?
No.
No,
No,
it wasn't that you were wrong. It's just the next time you say it, make sure you say it to someone that's gonna get offended, so you can laugh in their face.
that's funny.
I'll be sure to do that.
I totally I was off topic. I'm so sorry. We
It's
were
okay.
supposed to be talking. All right, the last solution I have to make sure that, our Black community is more open instead of calling people uppity is, as parents, if you got children, make sure that you expose them to things like skating. Um, I've had a couple of friends and I've brought them to the village. They're from Brooklyn. Anybody knows the village? That's the Gothic center of New York City. They were taken back a bit, but after a while, they saw how cool the people were, and they weren't so fucking scared and judgmental. So when I listened to my rock, they shut the fuck up. And be the first to, okay, if you see a group of kids, all they're doing is jumping double dutch. They don't jump double dutch anymore, unfortunately, but all they're doing is what they consider just Black things to do. Introduce them to what they would consider white sports like skating, skateboarding, hockey. Take them to a hockey game so that they are exposed, so they're not so narrow minded and they can look at somebody and legit say, I'm blacker than you. No, you want them to look at someone and say, okay, that's cool. I've been there. I've done that. You want a worldly child so that we can stop creating this generation of saying that's a Black sport versus a white sport. We need to get out of that because then our children won't travel. And the minute they travel, they want to be part of a dumbass group called Passport Bros.
Yeah, and one more thing before we move on, because I kind of want to like double down on what you just said. It's also very important because as Black people, we are the original. So the more your Black child knows about us being the original, the more he can shut them people up whenever they talk shit about his people and be like, "Bitch, I
Yeah.
invented bathing. What did you invent? You invented throwing poop out the fucking window. We are not the same."
Well, here's the thing with hockey. Do you know who invented hockey?
A black
Because it
man.
wasn't the Caucasians.
He's a black.
So
Damn.
yeah, teach them the history, then take them to the sport, so that they can have a pride about it. Because hockey was not created by Caucasians, but they did own that shit, and that's the thing that I'm talking about. Like, yeah, we're not gonna go there.
Stole my
Let me
whole
not even
fucking
start on
flow.
cricket.
Word for word, Buffalo.
Whoa.
Crystal, I'm glad you said that because that's exactly what the fuck I was going to say. Know your history. You'd be surprised how many shit was actually invented by blacks. And then, I feel like once we learn that, it will open other people to go into vast majority of ways. Like I told people, I would like to see like sci-fi black sci-fi that's not homeboys in outer space. So
What about that joke with Will Smith and his son? But nobody watched.
We
After
do
Earth,
not fucking talk about that bullshit.
that movie was bad. That
That
It
movie
movie,
was
it
was
Well,
wasn't just
so
like here's
bad.
the
It
thing:
was
like you
weird.
can't just make black. You can't just make black movies. You get books and stuff. You gotta make them good, and you gotta advertise them. You gotta push that shit like it's nobody's business.
well, he did push it like it was nobody's business. Just sad part of it was just bad.
But you know what I've noticed? I just think Black Americans in general need to be there for their own when it comes to movies, especially whether it's good or bad. Because you see, I've I've watched Caribbean movies. Anybody that knows Caribbean movies knows exactly what I'm talking about. It's like it's very mediocre. Very, very, very mediocre. It's like watching Medea before she got on screen. It's like watching a play.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't. It's not really a movie, but it's like a play, and we take pride in that, and that has more views than Will Smith's movie because we support each other. So we're going to make the best of it. It's more support that needs to be happening.
Black folks support black works when it's like Tyler Perry based stuff, or when a white man makes it, like Black Panther, Stan Lee.
How many
Or
times?
Disney. Let a nigga make something like that. Let a nigga which there has been plenty of comic book characters that has been made in the last 10 years that was made by blacks, and you can't get black folks to really support that joint or to really post that shit around on the internet in mass. You can't get them to
5
do it.
videos talking about that.
You can't get them to do it. I've been to BlurCon, and I saw so many books that was black made, black owned, and actually
Wow.
look good that I would be interested in. I got some of them. I ain't get all of them, but like, you don't see nobody. All these people talking about diversity and back in diversity, black and black Spider-Man, back in black Cyclops, black
Yo,
Green Gray, black this, black that. You don't see them back in any of those original works. They wanna cling
Right.
on to what someone else already did. Because when you see Cyclops, you ain't gonna think about the black version for real. You gonna think about the
No.
white Scott Summers with the brown hair. You gonna think about him primarily.
Yeah. The closest of black Cyclops that I can get to and think about is Futurama. And that's
I get it. I will say this. I know that if you get a couple people to say that it's cool, there are people that will try it or at least
Right,
will
yeah.
tell you this in secrecy, but they
Well, why
really
ain't nobody doing that then?
they really fuck with it. I don't know, because I will say this, and Father could attest, when Hezzy, our man Hezzy, he made them the Lounge Boys t-shirts, and he made it for like our close friends, and everybody had their own little Lounge Boys t-shirt. There was a couple people that saw us, as they said, I fucks with y'all shirts. That shit is legit. And a couple of them, they wanted shirts with our own. Now, I told Hezzy, make them pay. I said, make them all pay. And he switched the logos a little bit so you can know like which is the original and which was the ones he paid. But there was a couple people that they were street dudes too. And they was like, I fucks with y'all shirt. The fact that y'all got that shit, make y'all little clicking on it, that shit is legit. That's what I feel like more people should do that. So I feel like if a couple people, could make it look cool, and if it make it look, people will drag onto it. Because I've always said that about comic books, and especially
I think some shit.
I'm still waiting for the Milestone movie. Like we are so late.
It ain't gonna be successful because niggas made it.
Oh no, Static Shock.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like if
Static Shock was made by what's this? Static Shock or Black Lightning?
Dwayne McDuffie. It was Static.
I would say Static. I'm telling you,
I know Black Lightning was made by a white man. I met him in person.
Wow.
Yeah, Dwayne McDuffie made.
He was at Awesome Con, wasn't he?
Static. Yeah, he was at one of those cons. But yeah, I got a picture with me and Raymond. You know Marcos.
Yeah.
It's a picture with me, him, and Marcos in a picture.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, Spawn, which is actually like here's my point. Mm-hmm. The black characters that are made by white people somehow tend to be the most popular. Spawn, made by Tom McFarlane. He's a white guy or Jewish or whatever the hell he is. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I can't tell the difference half the time between Jewish and white and white boys. Like I said, the guy made Black Lightning. Static Shock. I think Static Shock was actually made by a black man. But at the same time, Static Shock also has a problem with gaining traction in his books. He does, unlike Spawn.
Do you think it's a marketing issue?
It might be. I think it needs to be followed up with other merchandise other than books, because people these days don't like to read like that.
No, they do not.
Everybody don't like to read, so I think it needs to be followed up with another cartoon, maybe, because the cartoon was actually was successful. The cartoon was successful. It is that they try to push it through books, and I think books is especially comic books is like a dead. It's not really. There's a black man. But because he was like anti-woke, and that was a narrative he was pushing.
You're talking about Eric July?
Talking about the Reppaverse? Yeah. Yeah, Reppaverse. Because he was anti-woke, a lot of white people bought it. But it had a black superhero, a white female antagonist, and it made him like 30 mil off of one issue.
Wow.
And I think I have it queued up, but I think he announced Isom #2.
Yeah, Isom. Yeah, that's Isom. The guy, he got like a black and yellow outfit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, like it's like if you don't mark, because he wasn't necessarily marketing towards black people. And a matter of fact, when I look on the little fan page for that, a lot of people I see taking pictures of themselves with the book are white people.
And that should have been enough. The fact that he's black and he created that should be enough for all of us to be like, okay, yo, let's go.
But you know what? Wealthy people, and I'm saying this for a reason. Wealthy people, they know when they see
Politics does.
valuable things. For instance, when you have rappers who are mostly the ones uh, getting the tickets and keeping things that's like memorabilia and stuff like that, and reselling it on the internet, it's not black people. They're too busy advertising on social media.
You think this will happen because of politics, on top, oh my God.
And I'm not saying that, I'm hating on them. It's just that the way that our community looks at things to do. Like, for instance, the comic book. And I'm glad, China Wolf, that you are actually purchasing these comics and saving them, because they're gonna be they're gonna be worth a lot. Might even put it in your trust, because they're just gonna gain value, especially since people don't like to read. But I'm just saying. But at the end of the day, it's kind of sad that when I've spoke to a lot of my friends in Manhattan that they have elevators that go to their apartments and shit like that. They collected comic books. They collected anything that they can consider an asset or can put in their trust fund. Think about that for a minute. I don't think that when you have black artists or a rare, um, I guess, black character, no one thinks anything of it. But when it's the only one left and no one's talking about it, and it's the last issue, how much is that cost now? How much is that vintage car cost now? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because when you get a Honda, it depreciates. So, or when you get a Lexus and a BMW, that shit depreciates after years. But if you was to get a vintage car, fix it up, and have it top notch and invest in it, how much is it worth then?
Sounds
And
familiar.
let me not even start on the taxes you can get off of that. I'm not even to start, because then I might get shot or something. But at the end of the day, I am
We
giving
don't need
gems.
that. We do not need that.
I got a lot of black op friends. I'll be fine. But it's just, at the end of the day, it's really fucked up how we don't look at the value of within our community. But you see the Caucasians, you see the Asians, they know value and they are taking pictures for a reason.
Yeah, they are taking. Yeah, they know what they're doing. And really, I feel like the only reason they really backing his thing is because he's anti-woke, and a lot of people are tired of like the race swapping and the gender war and all these different things that's going on in media.
That they push on purpose.
That's the real reason I think that they supporting him, is because he speaks out against those things. Otherwise, I don't think they would give a shit. Even though he do put a lot of good production value in his book, from what I've seen, the artwork is top notch.
It's real good.
And the story, from what I read so far, is like one issue. It's very compelling so far. So I ain't trying to take away from that, but I do feel like that's the main reason they supporting it though.
I would say added to his numbers, but he already had fans before, like, beyond this politics talk, because he's part of a band and shit like that. Plus, he's on a political show, and he always did reactions to.
Yeah, he did like heavy metal or something like that.
Yeah, it's like what do you call this? Like, it's basically what Linkin Park did back in the day.
Yeah,
so, no metal,
rap rock.
Yeah, or sometimes he'll do straight up rock, or sometimes he'll do straight up hip hop. So
that's what Raymond, that's what Aaron's brother does.
Oh yeah, he does. He does do that.
Beyond, yeah, he does like a rap rock. But yeah, okay, but yeah, he did. Yeah, that's true though. He did have a following before the politics thing.
Yeah. Okay. All right. On to the last topic. Are y'all familiar with the? I guess I'm gonna say YouTuber, but I think he's a Twitch streamer. Y'all familiar with Destiny, right?
Yeah,
I've heard.
blue
Yeah, I
hair.
think so. Yeah.
He's Sonic cosplaying.
The blue.
Yo,
Okay. That's funny. He long shot to keep this short. He did a debate with Angry Man, which is another YouTuber, and he got, I guess, Angry Man was making fun of his blue hair and called him feminine, and he's Destiny said something along the lines of, "I can't say what I want to say because he is afraid to get canceled," and he is called black people like the trans, like we're like the trans community in the ways that if you say anything close to something that's deemed racist, he's afraid to get canceled. So this is a video, and I'm gonna play like 2 minutes of it, detailing his frustration with the online black community. So I'll play like a couple minutes of this.
Of like the online black man in terms of like wanting to pull the race card. Like they've got 52 cards in the deck and every single one of them says racism on it. It's just, I want you to write me insults for the next, because I would get destroyed.
So at the end, he was like, "You're a blue-haired sissy or something," and then you were like, "Ooh," you're like, "Damn, I wish I could say what I would. Damn, it sucks because I don't want to get canceled for saying what I wanted to say, and it sucks that they get to sit there and say whatever they want. But if I were to say what I wanted to say, I would get canceled." And it sounded like you were like, "Ooh, I want to say something about his race."
I can't say anything without it being potentially about his race. Like, I can't make fun of the way that he looks. I can't make fun of the way that he speaks. I can't make fun of anything about him without it potentially being about race. That's the issue, right? It's just like black people are the trans people now of the internet. Where like I can't make fun of the way a trans person speaks, the way that they look, anything, because it might be transphobic. Same thing with black people. Like I don't know what I can even say without it being like racist. So it's just annoying because like these guys will go in on me. Like I've got chat rooms full of people like calling me and shit and like all sorts of like crazy shit. And who cares? Because black people and homophobia are like bread and butter online. So, but I can't say anything back without it being like I got like 2 days worth of
black people are homophobic.
I said legion of black people, and people were like, "Oh my god, legion! That's like a racist word." Like, what the fuck? Like I basically like had my hood out saying it. So it's annoying being in that circumstance where someone can go ultra hard on you in every aspect of your life, but I don't even know like what the I'd say back. If you heard that and you think like, "Oh, Destiny just wants to call me the N-word," then I did. Fuck it, I don't care. If you think that, then I did because I hate black people or whatever. But the reality.
All right, that's about it. Do you feel like Destiny has a point, or do you disagree with him?
I think he's being emotional. I think he's being very emotional. Like he's being very emotional for the fact that I can't make fun of him because if I make fun of him, black people gonna jump me. That's basically what he's doing. And then like, I don't know how to make it not racist. And then I'm like, oh, you could just ignore the shit and move on. You have an entire platform that you're speaking to right now, and you're butthurt because somebody got one over on you and you can't fucking respond. Newsflash, it's not because you're white, my dude. It's because you know that if you say anything, niggas is gonna tear that ass up, but we gonna have a fucking Destiny pack. We're gonna be smoking Destiny pack. So, and you don't want that, so you emotional right now, and it's okay because black people are scary. I'll be scared of black people sometimes. My people, you know what I mean? Ain't nothing fucking more terrifying than getting roasted by a group of niggas. That's like fighting the Wu-Tang
by yourself. You see a bunch of niggas standing behind you at the ATM, you gonna be thinking
nigga,
twice about that shit.
I fear the day I walk outside and just like 4 niggas like just looking at me and all of them say "boy" at the same time. I'm done. What do you do against that? What do you do?
I've said this for the longest. I tell people I'd rather take an ass whipping before I get into a roasting contest and get roasted. I've said this. I was like, and people don't understand. It was just like, and people think I've never taken an ass whipping before. I've taken an ass whipping, and I've gotten back up from an ass whipping. And you know what they say after that? That little nigga got heart. When you get roasted, especially with black people, because we are creative when we are roasting niggas.
Yes,
That shit
yes, we are.
stays with you.
We don't just cook you, nigga. We roast you
With seasoning. This shit,
You
like
can make bone. You can make some
Sorry.
bone broth out of that shit.
yes, it is.
Eat a bone.
When black people get into a roasting section, like you ever see like two funny dudes get into a roasting session and they just going back and forth and the shit is hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then like you laugh too hard and they look at you go,
like,
what you laughing
boy.
for?
Oh,
No, boy, I know this nigga ain't laughing.
I know you ain't laughing.
And the thing is, I see he does make a point, but you can, in his circumstance though, he's just using that to make a point because as Father said, you saw how emotional he was. Because if you know straight up and down what you meant, you just say it straight up. He didn't say anything. He was just saying, "Oh, it just had to be." What else would you have meant, sir? I would have more respect if you just meant it and been racist or whatever. I will be like, I know who you are. But this now, you're like, oh, being victim and shit like that when you're the one that was, yo. So, and it was just a question, dude. What happened? Are you getting on like that? What? You know?
Yeah, that man had Vietnam flashbacks.
So I'm like, so you made that point just to be all emotional? Like, nah, that point is supposed to be like, you're supposed to be, there's no emotion. Like, oh, no, that's not what I meant. I meant this, that, and the other. Boom, done.
yeah,
You
but
didn't
he's
do
not a
that.
man.
Dumb,
He's not a man.
He's a hedgehog.
First of all, look at his hair color. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying that
He's a blueberry.
if you, thank you. That's the best way to fuck. He needs to be fucking baked. Because at the end of the day, you acting like somebody
He's a
just
Oompa Loompa.
went to you. You didn't get your way. You didn't know how to come back at the person. And now you're making this a race thing. Look. And then you're gonna call the trans community out. What did the trans community do to you?
I'm saying, like the trans, what did he say? Fuck me for? Like,
oh, they're acting like the trans
You
community.
know what I think he was going to do? You know what I think he was going to do? I think he was going to go at how the dude was talking. I didn't see the video, so I don't know what his dialect was like.
Yo, is he known for being far right?
No, he's more. I know who he is, and I heard him debate other people about.
He's very leftist.
He's very left, but he tries to kind of like he tries to see the other side because he used to be debating like red pillars.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God.
Yeah, he used to be debating red pillars.
So remind me of Hunter Avalon.
Yeah, so he tries to like. I see what you're saying. So he tries to like hop the line a little bit, but he's definitely a leftist for sure. For sure.
Okay. So, yeah, he's giving me Hunter Avalon vibes.
I think his problem is.
Oh, not Hunter. Jesus Christ, that dude.
I think his problem. Okay, can I say something? I'm gonna do a comparison and show you what I mean and what I'm seeing, my perspective.
Do your thing, Chris.
How come H Pearl? Does anyone know who Pearl is? She's the one that talks about that. Okay, how come
Pearly
the
thing?
white
You talking about Pearly
girl?
Things?
Yes, Pearly Things. Thank you. How come Pearly Things can take all the criticism or all the attacks that she gets and never mention the N-word, and she gets harder hits as far as I'm concerned than this guy named Destiny with his blue hair. I can't understand it because the way that Pearly Things handle herself when she's attacked and called out as being racist or whatever the fuck the world wants to call her, she takes it like a champ, and it's not her job to care what other people think of her. It's her job to get what the fuck she wants to say, stick to what she's saying, and keep it 100. Like, he's talking about, oh, if I could just call him the N-word. What is that going to do? You're still going to feel like shit. You're still going to feel like the victim. You're going to still feel like the trans community mixed with the black man is attacking you. What is it going to change? Are you going to feel more powerful? So that tells me right there, you ain't a fucking man, because it takes a word for you to get your point across. For you to feel that you're above somebody, then that tells me your dick is small. End of story. The fuck?
Okay.
I think he's a coward because he just don't want to say what he got to say. But I guess his livelihood is based around his channel and him being seen as this far left, altruistic, virtuous person or whatever for the left. So I guess he don't want to ruin that.
Nigga, he already ruined it by getting on the internet acting like a hoe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
nigga,
mean, like if you're going to half step, you might as well go all the way.
black people gonna jump me.
You don't just put the tip in.
And we did it
You
anyway.
gotta go balls deep if you're gonna even put the tip in. He should not
And
say nothing at all.
no offense. It is not even, I guess he's emotionally scarred from this, I guess. But has anyone ever been jumped? I've been actually jumped by black girls. And
I've
it's not
been jumped.
fun. It is not fun. The only person I could grab is one girl, and then I just let the rest hit on my back and call it a fucking day. He's acting like he just got jumped like 69. Like, you're gonna be okay. You're you're gonna be fine, sir. There's no need for you
He's
to be like,
acting like he got
if I could just
69 that he didn't like it.
6'9". Come outside.
pun
Come
intended.
outside, Destiny.
Pun
We won't jump
intended.
you.
Pun intended.
Yo, I'm just saying, like, he's like, if I could just say that word. I mean,
If
god
I could just
damn.
hit him with
Yeah,
the
that was
motherfucking-
my thing. So what was you gonna say, sir? So that was my question.
I think he was going to say that he sounded uneducated, and I think that's what I think. But I don't know. I didn't see it, so I can't really say what he was going to say.
Yeah, I gotta watch that debate with him.
Yeah,
and
I gotta
see how
watch
that
it.
goes.
But I got a feeling that's what it was based around. But he don't want to come off as racist because some people got like that the street dialect, and it follows them if they're educated or not. And he might be reaching. But I mean, I think that's where it's going. I think that's probably where it's going though, because I can't think of anything else that he could say that would be racist, not blatantly racist, like an accidental, quote unquote, accidental racist statement.
So I had about two theories, and I think one of y'all said my theories that he obviously. Okay, so one of my two theories is that one, he hasn't hung out with a lot of black people or doesn't know what that he can or cannot say if he's going off like that. And my second theory is he doesn't believe he's that funny that he can get away with saying something racist and get away with it.
Well, I mean,
Because
he's not funny. He's not funny at all.
exactly, if you're not funny at all, then you're like most people. Like some of my favorite white comedians, Jeff Ross, Liza Lampanelli, hell, even Don Rickles, like they can get away with saying
I
like
like the
black
ginger
jokes.
guy. What's that ginger guy? He's not. Well, he's bald now, but
The one that
he's
told
an
the
angry
girls
guy.
like I'm gonna beat his, he's gonna beat his meat in front of the
Oh yeah, he got a black wife too.
Bill Burr.
Bill Burr. There you go. I like him.
Okay, not Bill. Okay, I was thinking of the other guy. Uh, but yeah, Bill Burr is also one of those dudes. He said a couple black jokes and they're funny. Gary Owen, he could say a couple black jokes. There are comics that they could say that, and even if it does sound a little racist, it's like, oh, this shit was funny as hell though. Because even if it is racist, there are some black people that can appreciate a racist joke, depending on how funny it is and depending on how your delivery is. Obviously, he doesn't know. He probably doesn't have that, so he probably doesn't even pursue. And although I didn't show y'all this in the video, I know Father does see the whole thing. Um, there was a point where the guy he was talking to, he was saying, well, you could clown on him without talking about race or mentioning his race, which is like his chain or like the way he smoked the cigars or him being bald or like him being old. And yet Destiny wasn't listening to him at all. If you ever watch that video, it's just like he felt like the dude was trying to get him advice and Destiny wasn't listening to him at all. And I was a little disappointed in that because it's just like, as someone that debates a lot, you got to listen to a lot of stuff. But it seems like you were so into your victimhood and white privilege, and I hate using the word white privilege. But you were such in that victimhood of white privilege, you wasn't listening to nobody when someone was giving you sound advice. Like,
Destiny, he barely listens. It's like he listens to respond.
Yeah,
He
definitely.
listens not to actually hear what you're saying, or he listens to rebuttal whatever it is that you're saying. That's what he seems to do. That's what it comes off to me when I hear him debate people. 'Cause I hear him debate a couple of people already, and like, I don't really like him. I don't like him. I don't like him.
also,
No,
it's
because he's not debating at that point, right?
Nah, he's not.
Not necessarily. No.
He's just
Bro, I'm
looking for
telling you,
war.
that video, bro, I'm telling you, that rest of the video, it was not a fucking discussion. He would say something that was actually, the other person would say something that's like actually smart, that actually has grounding. And then the nigga will be there talking about, yeah, but the thing is, these new black people, they're like the new trans community. If I say anything, I'm gonna get canceled. And I'm like, my nigga, this is not an episode of like my life as destiny. Like, nigga, this ain't a sitcom. Like, bro.
that's declassified.
And like, plus, if you really bought it, you'll just say the shit anyway. Like, yeah, if people call it racist, you know what I mean, bro, people came from a lineage of that. Like, y'all was proud of that. Y'all fucking wore a whole bunch of fucking claws and shit to scare black people and shit like that. Now all of a sudden it's an issue. You feel what I'm saying?
Oh
And I know he's
God.
a leftist and shit like that. I'm not trying to say that, he directly was responsible for it, but I'm just saying you have a proximity to those type of people. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like
Mhm.
you should understand the fucking climate that you're living in the first place. These people aren't saying it for no reason. These people are saying it because they experienced that fucking trauma. So when you open your mouth to a black person, expect pushback because that is the type of environment your forefathers created. Blame them, not us.
Thank you, Father, because that was my other point. I said, blame your ancestors because, and I've always said this: it's one thing if we came all as one and not on slave ship, and we just all came as equal opportunists to just
Mm-hmm.
find new land. But since your people enslaved us, and then so yes, and then like every time we had to fight for humanity. We had to fight for because we was 3/5 of the people. We had to fight for damn near to be equal and not to eat at restaurants and not just eat in the fucking back,
Hey,
all that other stuff. And you know, you got your Jim Crow redlining and civil wars and even things that we go through today like police brutality and fair treatment and affirmative action
hey,
is
aren't
like
you forgetting something?
I'm pretty sure I'm forgetting some, but
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 something very important.
what am I forgetting?
We actually started our own communities and ecosystem of money, and then they bombed us
Yes,
Yeah, they
several
right.
times,
definitely
not just
bombed
one
us.
time.
And they killed a family with a child inside the house.
Yeah, and so they was like literally actively. They wouldn't even let us have our own, like the Chinatown that Chinese people and Asian people have.
Hmm.
And
We had our own versions of that, our own little communities, and they just sabotaged that shit too.
look,
Exactly.
So
it's a
they
community in Georgia too.
And
say that
Oconee,
again.
Florida.
I'm sorry, it's a community in Georgia of a town it's growing right now. I forgot the name of it, but Africans are in charge of that, and they were trying to get that community shut down because of all the money they're making.
Oh,
I know.
history repeating itself several times.
I know it's what you're talking about. It's like the town was bought by a whole bunch of black people, so now it's like literally a black hometown. I know
Black
exactly.
Africans, yeah.
Yeah,
Mm, mm,
I
mm.
know exactly what you're talking about. I think I did
I
a
just
story on it.
said Black Africans. I'm tired.
Mhm. Well, I mean, there's white people that live in Africa now,
You know what? You're right. You're right. So I was
and
correct. Thank
Chinese
you.
too. Chinese and Caucasians trying to colonize, or not trying, they are succeeding in some aspects.
Because of that damn loan that okay, I'm not even gonna go into it.
Russia trying to get in there too. It's like, hey, yo, man.
Hell
Yo,
yeah,
what's up, Africa?
what's
And
good?
then South Africa's like, hey, yo, what's up, Russia?
Kutentas.
What's up, buddy?
Kutentas.
I had to just one more thing. I had to explain to a coworker why it's not okay to say the N word, especially at work. period. But I said, you saying the N word, you didn't get, or me saying the C word, okay? If I had to call her a cracker, I said, you cannot relate that to hangings, to your ancestral lynchings and stuff like that. Like that word is not connected to anything. If even if I was to call you a cricket, a milk cricket,
A
it's
moon
not going
cricket.
to stick onto your culture to trigger um, my race to want to hang you versus your race. And it's still happening today. The man in Mississippi got his
Because
life
Cracker has no
taken from
power.
him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hell, they made a business out of it. Cracker Barrel. Should I say more?
Cracker has no power. That word has no power. It is something.
No,
Is it something that
it
black people
doesn't
say
stick.
that feel powerful, feel like they got an equivalent insult to go towards white people, but it really has no power like nigga does. Nigga has a lot of history to it.
Look, I've seen a girl had a shoe thrown at her, a Timberland thrown at her in a hospital. This is a nurse because the Hispanic man thought she said spick.
Damn.
And yeah, she got a busted lip from that. I'm just saying she thought. I mean, sorry, he thought she said a racist slur towards him. So
Not
what do
even
you think about black people?
not even a damn chocolate. A whole boot.
A whole Timberland boot.
Damn.
The brand matters because Tims are heavy.
Yes. Yes.
I ducked.
I'd
I'm
have
not
fought
gonna say
somebody
that.
that day. I'd have fought some.
She
We
said,
fight.
"You just let me get hit." I said, "You know the word duck." Yeah, I'm not. My reflexes are strong, ma'am.
Oh, hey Ray,
Yeah.
what's the other thing? What's the thing I told you earlier that I didn't like about old Song the Hedgehog over there? What
He said,
What's the other thing
"No."
I told you I didn't like about him? I think, oh yeah, he likes to cite statistics that fit his point, but when someone gives him statistics that goes against his point, he
He
likes to
doesn't.
pretend like the statistics don't matter.
Right. I've seen a
So I'd
lot
be
of
like, why
people
does your
do it.
statistics matter? He goofy. I don't like him. He goofy.
I've seen it. I've seen that happen a lot. And I was like, you can't ignore those statistics just because they don't fit your criteria. And I know a lot of people have been doing it. And I was like,
And it'd be like government. It'd be like government, like FBI backed statistics, and he'd be like, he'd be giving all these little stupid ass excuses. But his shit that's like some type of college, some type of Harvard University joint that some teacher at Harvard University back that's accurate, even though that doesn't necessarily mean it's accurate. A study from Harvard University isn't 100% infallible. But yeah, he does that type of shit.
yeah. So my man Destiny, you gotta learn how to take that L, bro. But you also gotta learn your history, especially black history. And this is why black people want CRT in the fucking schools. You know, just because people wants to learn your history, you gotta at least learn your history. And you gotta learn the art of debate. You kinda understand. But it's funny because the whole thing came from, I guess, a bunch of people because he was complaining about a bunch of black people coming in, and because he said a legion of black creators came at him. And I think even the guy was explaining, I don't think they came at you because you said a legion of black creators. I think they came at you because you're overgeneralizing. And he just trying to like brush that aside. It's like people overgeneralize me. It's like that doesn't make it right. And he was comparing like other black creators to like I don't know if y'all know who Speed and Kai Cenat is,
I
and
do.
kind of,
Nah, I never heard of them.
well, they yell in their content a lot, but they're young kids.
Hmm.
And a lot of other black creators is just like, we're not like Kai Cenat and Speed. It's like that's them. Is that there's other black, and they was telling them there are other black creators that don't yell. It's like you overgeneralizing is make us look bad because you make other people think that that's all other black creators do. So that's why they was mad at him, and he ignored that. So to your point, Clarence, it's just like that. It makes you real dishonest when coming in a debate. So when I saw this, I was real disappointed. So, um, is there a solution y'all could come up with this or no?
There ain't no solution for that's the solutions for him, but he ain't gonna take it because he's a dickhead.
I don't
My
think
But
only
there's a
solution is learn how to
solutions
take
for
an
us is
L.
to understand that white people are racist and expect racist shit to come out of their mouth. Expect it. Brace yourself for it. Have a quick rebuttal.
I guess the lesson from this topic is that it's not our job to give a fuck what other people think of us, because the more we try to make a horse drink water, the more that we realize they're not a horse, they're a donkey, they're an ass.
Oh my god!
It doesn't make sense.
Did you go too hard right there? Did you go too
What?
hard?
What? It's a bar.
Assholes don't drink water
No, they don't. They don't.
unless
Mm-mm.
it's an enema.
Oh Lord. Oh God. The stories that I've heard. Anyway, I just we gotta as a black community, we don't have we just can't give him the content, because a lot of people are now clicking on this dumbass page and giving him the content he want, being a little bitch. Like we're giving him we're giving him, play. And I think I know it ain't gonna happen, because as Black people, we just have to tell you one last thing. We're the people in the argument that we're like, and another thing,
One more
we are
thing.
gonna come back.
Yo, I was about to say that, Clarence. I swear. One more thing.
Oh my gosh! But I really think that if we can just learn from this, that would be ignore motherfuckers like that, especially if they look like a wannabe clone Sonic the Hedgehog. Like, chill. He's really Eggman, but we're not going to talk about that.
Any last words before we move on to our final thoughts?
Don't take any white person with fucking rainbow colored hair seriously.
Especially if they play fucking video games.
That's shit. It's pretty much, yeah.
Learn how to take your L's. Just learn how to take your L's. And also, I still would rather take an ass whipping over getting roasted any fucking day of the week. So
hold on, but how leftist is he if he thinks if he attacked trans people like that? No, he ain't really attacked, but he that example was a weird example to use. If he's trying to appeal to a leftist audience.
I think he said something about black people and homophobia. I think it was just like that we go hand in hand or some shit like that, or
Something he was saying. Something what he was saying is like it's like saying anything criticizing a black person is like criticizing a trans person. You can't do without stepping on a landmine, and that's not something that most liberal debaters online on YouTube, most liberal influencers will even admit. I don't feel like most of the liberal influencers online would say anything like that, to be honest with you. But I don't think they're genuine either, though. So there's that. I think they're grifting.
I think a lot of most of these people on here are grifting. I think they see an opportunity and they just.
I think just Pearly Things is grifting a little bit.
Bruh, I done said that.
I haven't heard her latest one. So give me the scoop. What's
Okay,
happening?
the one that this is the one that
She said,
Clarence
okay,
told me. It was them and Melanie King, and they was going on Stinko. And do you know who Melanie King is? Do you, Crystal?
What she look like? I'm not good with names.
She's like light skinned. She's a pretty, very, very beautiful woman. But and she like light skinned. She does a lot of male I don't want to say red pill content, but she does a lot of content being
it's
on
kind
male
of red
side.
pill content
It's
ish,
yeah, red pill ish. I would say
but
that.
it's only related towards dating though, not
Yeah,
towards anything else. Because red pill can mean so many things.
right. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's more or less.
Okay.
Now, they was getting on the whole Stinko thing, but I personally think she
Do y'all know
was.
what happened with Sneeko?
Yeah.
They do.
Oh
No.
no! I don't think they do.
He was talking about men should watch. Every man should watch his girl get fucked by another man.
Madness.
Yeah,
Utter madness.
yeah.
I said, I would
Yo, okay,
never.
hold on. You just said okay. Listen. So at work, the guy puts on the radio while we're working, and like they keep playing the same song like every, I wouldn't even say hours so often. And before it was announced, it was Ryan Seacrest. Yeah, it was Ryan Seacrest, and he was like, "Oh, here's the #2 song in the nation." I'm like, okay, and it played again. I'm like, "Oh, so that's it?" So I was saying to myself, "Okay, you mean to tell me that the #2 song in America is a song about justifying or glorifying being a cuck? Is that what you're trying to tell me here?" Because I'm like, yo, okay, so it's creeping by the weekend. Like I'm because I'm working, but it's playing and it plays so often on the radio that I'm like, okay, so I'm listening to the lyrics now. I'm like, wait, what? What? And I'm like, I remember there are people dry like men, son. Look, well, apparently by visuals, you would swear like badass, and that song's pumping, and he bop into. I'm like, yo, come on, son. What is that? So, oh my god, interesting, very interesting.
No, I've had a boyfriend that wanted to see that, and that was definitely in my younger days, and I'm like, you're definitely not the one for me because I like to be, and this is gonna sound bad, but I like to be owned. I like my man to be like, I only want you. I don't want anybody
Well, I
else to
mean, like
have
that's the whole
you.
point of I mean, that's the kind of the idea of it, though, right? I mean, I want the same thing. If your partner don't want you or don't want to be like possessive of you to an extent, then I don't really see them. I don't know. I don't. I just it just don't do nothing for me.
Right, and it's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
But to
It's
each his
odd.
own. Yeah, to each
Teach,
his. I
yeah,
feel like am I single or am I in a relationship? Like it's very confusing for me. I don't know which role to play. Like, are we open or not? And he's like, no, you could. I just want to watch. You can be with other dude. I'm like, dude, this ain't
because
right. I don't.
even if my girlfriend was like to be like, oh, you can talk to anybody you want to. I feel like that would leave her ass open for me to get a new girl that I like, possibly like better if you leave it that open.
Right. And what it's kind of like I feel like the person's trying to set you up to fuck up so they have an excuse to do them. I'm paranoid as fuck. And then to
Yep,
top it
yep.
off, like,
I've actually experienced that because one of my past girlfriends she was tired of the relationship. She was trying to put me on the other girls.
yo, that's disrespectful. Like,
Yeah,
just
she was trying to put me
leave.
on the other girls. Yeah,
But she
so
still
it's
wanted
like
the
that
benefit
does
of,
happen. Some people do that.
yeah, it's very sneaky. I don't know. I don't know. And then the germs that come along with, I look, I'm a one dick type of girl. I'm sorry to be so raw. I don't like, I can't do it. I can't do it. To each his own.
You're the exclusive sausage club.
I am because I'm not going to be cooking for you and another dude because I'm the woman of the house. Like, you got me doing double the work for what? No.
Yeah, I said it a couple times. I don't know if I could do a polyamorous relationship. I'm just that territorial. So.
Everybody
but
broke, so I understand why poly is even coming up and why
right.
New York want to approve it. They ain't slick. You getting more taxes, motherfuckers. Like y'all ain't fooling nobody.
The damn Mormons.
But what Pearly thing said, I think the thing that about that conversation is somehow I think Pearly things said that black guys are easy. Did that come up? Is that what you talking about, Raymond?
It wasn't. I don't know if it's more or less that. It was more or less they, because Melanie was like, what
Wow.
Sneeko did was bullshit because Sneeko mentioned another man's girlfriend, and when they was and it had nothing to do with the topic, and she was like, "Oh, that
Wow.
was a bitch move,"
Oh
and
yeah.
and
Yeah.
that whole thing was weird because it seems like they was trying to defend Sneeko, but they also contradicted themselves. It was like there's because they was like there's no rules to this, and then they'll also say, well, it's unfair to like put him to use this whole cucking thing because it happened a long time ago. But she said, well,
Oh
Mm.
if
yeah.
it's well, if y'all
Yeah.
saying there's no rules, then you shouldn't have a problem with them doing the whole bringing that up to begin with. And it's just like it
That's
seems like they're trying
confusing.
to get a leeway from Sneeko doing some bitch ass shit, and
Well,
they was
a
trying.
lot of them had Sneeko on their shows, so they probably trying to defend him. But I don't, the what's the 40-year-old lady that's very pretty? What's her name?
That's Melanie King.
Melanie Kane. Melanie Kane, from what I've seen, hasn't had a lot of interactions with him, nor does she even give a shit about him. So
Mm-hmm.
she coming from a more of a non-biased point where mediocre tutorial reviews. He's
Hmm.
talked about him before. I don't know if he ever did any content with him, but just Pearly Things definitely did content with him. So she's
Yeah,
kind of biased. She's biased. So
she
you
was
kind of
that,
got. But I
and
mean,
I didn't like.
humans do biased things. I mean, we've all probably been biased towards someone or something before.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so she being biased. That's what that is.
yeah,
All right,
yeah.
guys. So please tell me she did not say that black guys are easy. Just
I
tell
don't
me
know.
that, and I'll
I got to look
continue
more
to
into
watch
it.
it.
That's what someone was saying. Someone was saying that she said that, but I didn't really look that hard into it yet. I
I
heard
gotta find that. I've heard that before, but I didn't watch it for myself. But it's not. But
you would probably know because she's not a looker.
yeah, she's very average. She's
She would probably know if that was true or not, though,
she's
because she is not a looker.
she's,
Shit.
She probably preys on them.
she's very
Oh, I
plain.
know she does. I know she does.
She's
Oh
very
yeah, I'm pretty sure she does. Because
But
actually, if you go on her channel, you will see a lot of black dudes on her show, or her doing a lot of content with black dudes.
yeah, and black women too. So
And I'm sure they take some dips.
yeah, I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it.
but
But here's the thing. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Ray.
no, I'm gonna just say this: if you, Crystal, I'll send you the link. So, but if you ever watch it, you will notice that even though like Melanie was very unbiased, it's and like Clarence said, it was a very some biased things, and it seems like they contradicted just to like give him a leeway, even though they was trying to be fair and
Hmm.
balanced. There was a lot of contradiction, and it's
And
just
this,
like
yeah,
she was like I was agreeing with Melanie a lot, and that part
I
bugged
was agreeing with her on almost everything that she
everything.
was saying.
Like
For real.
even with like there are some street dudes that have more codes and some shit like that, and like I was like yeah, and I was like yeah, there's dudes that they go by some type of codes and like got a reputation and some shit like that, and it seems like a lot of people was like disagreeing with it, but that's that part right there is just like oh it very especially when it came to the white girl pearly thing it was just like very grifty, so that's the problem I had with it.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna clear this up. Hopefully, people who think that dating a black man that speaks proper and actually have standards is easy, they're not easy. The ones you're talking about is the ones that sit on the stoop, ain't got no job, smoke weed all day, talking about I can't find a job. Those motherfuckers is the easy ones.
That's true.
Okay.
That's very true.
Because I've tried getting with nerds and introverts, and they're very stingy with who the fuck they talk to and who the fuck they lay down with. And it's even some men in their 30s that still haven't given their seed because they are very choosy on who they decide to be the mother of their fucking kids. Black men are not easy. Men, boys are. They're very easy. You can get them even on Instagram. But the
Mhm.
men, the black men that actually have standards,
Well, those,
yeah, they're
yeah,
not easy to get.
those are the ones that got very, very low self-esteem. They never feel like they're going to amount to anything. They don't even have hope for themselves no more. So they'll take anything. Because I've encountered men that's like that, and they will take anything. And I do mean almost anything.
Oh yeah.
I haven't like you ever ask somebody what do they think of that person or this person as far as dating or sex or whatever, and they be like,
Mm.
"Nah, I don't like them. No, no, they're not for me." These dudes rarely ever say that ain't for me. They say yes to almost like okay, 98% of the time they say yes to everything. The rest of the percent
Wow,
is a no. And that's usually because the
that's
person
scary.
is like 90 years old
Yo,
and look
no,
like a raisin.
every guy should have a standard and type. That lets me know if you're a king or not. If you're like anything goes, I gotta question the foundation because if anything goes, then anybody
Like
can take you away from
these dudes would come at
oh.
me and be like, "Man, you see her over there?" I'd be looking like, yeah, what about her?" Yeah, man, I'd be looking at that like, I'd be like, "Nigga, is you crazy? What are you talking about?"
Me and
I don't
Clarence,
say nothing, but I just be like,
me and Clarence come from the same tree.
I'd be like, "Oh
Thank
yeah,
God. Can
okay,
they
yeah."
clone y'all? Can they clone y'all? Because I think
No
a
no
lot of
need for.
people.
Well, maybe these days it is a need for the clones because it's getting worse
Oh
out
my
here.
gosh.
It was this one dude he was talking about this girl he liked, and like I looked over and I was like, she was like painfully average, and I was like, all
It's
right,
not about the average. It's just like
no,
average is okay, but it's just like some of these mofos be like broken down, all fucked up in like a lot of ways. Like man, I'm like, some of these people be like aunties, not aunties, auntie. They be like you, like a fucking grandma, and these motherfuckers be like, "Oh yeah, I'm trying to smash." I'm like, "Nigga, that's a grandma.
Uh-uh.
What the fuck? You should be trying to help her cross the street, not trying to
not
help
trying to
her in the
spend.
bedroom."
No,
Damn.
but here's what I was saying though, like, cause, and I think I told him this. I said, you know, if you get with her, you be the dime piece.
That is a good
And that's how I felt. It's just like
scenario.
I realized this that I'm just like because I thought I was picky, but it was just like maybe I'm not picky, but I just got standards. Because there's some women that I've looked at, I'm like, no, hell no. Like,
Do you know the real reason men shouldn't be dating women that's like a decade older than I'm gonna behave, but I'm just saying if
it's
they
mostly
have a
because they
high
treat them like little boys, right?
not only that, a woman like that will never respect you. Okay.
Yeah,
Hell, the ones your age and go, so what you think about a woman that's near damn your mom's age? Ain't happening. But what's more
I already know where you're
important,
getting at with this. I know where you're getting at with this. But go ahead.
right?
I know.
But
Go ahead
what
though.
no, seriously, what's more important, um, and I'm gonna keep it light because I could spend all day on why you shouldn't, and I can get, fried by women that is gonna be hurt by this. But
They're
anyway,
already lonely. They hurt already. Go ahead.
they already hurt.
Yeah.
Okay. They have a high energy count. So if you're a young man and you can bend and do all the tricks in the bed and stuff, and she's in this one fucking position because her joints are aching and the energy is just fucking up your whole metabolism situationship, you're
Hit them
gonna
knees
get
pop.
frustrated. Hell, my knees pop, but not in the way that 45, 15.
Not when you need a 40-minute break afterwards.
Right. You got to keep going. But at the end of the day, the energy that's attached to that woman, because of the history of sexual partners that she's had, and she's never had a stable relationship. We're not talking about a woman that's had one husband, he passed on, and now she wants to go on with a new man. We're talking about a woman that is promiscuous and she's acting as if she only had one guy her whole fucking life. The energy of that woman, if you decide to have sex with her and you notice a lot of shit just start going wrong all of a sudden, and you're angry out of nowhere and shit like that, it's the energy. Young girls have it too when they have too much partners. Men don't be realizing this shit, but y'all realize it after the damage is done. So energy is a big thing. Just notice that even with your friends, if they dating older women or even women that's their age and they have a lot of sexual partners and they talk about all the things they've done with them, look at their life. See if it's getting better or worse. Just observe.
I got names I could drop, but I'm not going to drop them.
Okay, you don't want to pull a 69. You don't want to snitch.
I ain't no snitch. But I got this it's on the tip of my tongue.
No, you'll notice it's really an energy thing, because there's a lot of negative energy attached to that person. It's not good.
I hate to be this person, but that says that this is very typical of thing. But it's like more of a predator type of situation where they see you. They know that you like. They know that you like easy bait for them, and they can tell that you ain't shit. I'm gonna put it that way.
Oh yeah, they like to be.
They can tell that you ain't shit, so they're going after you because of that, and they know that they can manipulate the situation.
Yeah, it's a difference between a woman helping a man be a man and a woman wanting to do every single thing and not encouraging him or giving him ideas or, I already said it plenty of times on this podcast. If you have a woman and you say, "Oh man, I ain't got nowhere to live," and so on, and she got enough money to get you an apartment and help you find a job and let you flourish, and she don't do that, she's saying, "Move on in," and the first thing you move on in, you ain't paying no bills, you ain't doing this, you ain't doing that, you ain't cleaning, you ain't do. What's the difference? One woman is really looking to aid you and have you stand on your own and have independence, and the other one's really trying to treat you like one of her kids. That's the difference, because there's good women out there that's, aid the man, and there's this woman that want another child, and the closest she can get to is.
That's sad, but true.
Use a pet.
Oh man. So, any last words before we move on to our final thoughts?
Nope, not for me.
All right. Learn how to take a L. That's all I'm gonna say. So we are about to go into our final thoughts, and I am going to start with you, Shining Wolf.
Final thoughts is cucking's not for everyone. Don't try to cuck because a YouTuber says it, because you're gonna be mad, you're gonna be salty, and probably triggered for a long time to come. Don't trust people with rainbow colored hair. Do not let them be your role models. Matter of fact, don't listen to them at all. All thing you listen to them on is how to dye hair. But you should question yourself if you're trying to dye your hair colors of Skittles.
It's sad because his hair is blue like that and it's messy as hell.
Taste the rainbow.
Taste the rainbow. All right. Is that it? That it for you?
That's it.
All
That's
right.
it.
D Wolf is on you.
D Wolf, you there?
D Wolf, you still there?
Yeah, my bad.
On,
it was a tweet. Hold on. Damn. Okay, so I hope I didn't say this before. Anyway, from Thomas Sowell, he says there has never been a shortage of people eager to draw up blueprints for running other people's lives. And that's insane.
I like that. I don't think you've said that one before. So,
Okay.
Crystal was on you.
All right. Well, to the black men that are listening to this podcast, protect your seed. I know that women are women and they're beautiful and some are just easy, but you need to protect your seed at all times and pay attention to how they function in their family, even if it's just their mom. See how they treat their mother. Okay. See how they treat their own hygiene. See how they talk amongst their girlfriends versus you. If they're loud and obnoxious with their girlfriends, but to you they're submissive, that's not them.
Mhm.
That's not them. They have two sides to them, and it's going to take a while before you see the other side, but you shouldn't waste your time on that. Also, when it comes to dating, take your time. Don't go above and beyond for a woman who has yet to aid you in even your thought process. What do I mean by that? I mean, if you're sitting in a car with her and y'all talking about, I want to go to the Bahamas one day or Japan one day, and she's like, oh, that's nice. But she's not saying, oh, that would be cool. And then we can go here and then we can go there. And how about you working this job? Why don't you save up $20? If she's not adding to what your thought process is, again, that's me being, a little bit of stickler, but if she can't even aid you in something so simplistic, what makes you think that a foundation could be built on something so complicated if she can't even aid in a thought process? That means that your children, if you have children with her, are in danger. Yeah,
No
I'm
one word
jumping the
answer,
gun.
hoes. No one word answer, hoes. If she giving you one word answers on everything and it don't have no input, then she ain't nickel shit.
I
Mm-mm.
I I let them girls go immediately as soon as I get those.
I see those. I hate those. I can't stand that shit. I'm like, oh my god. She don't speak. She only says one word.
But on Instagram, she's saying a whole poetry. She is saying the world. She's sounding intellectual. She's moving as if she's spiritual, and free spirit girls scare the fuck out of me because there's nothing free or spiritual about them. It's just a mimic
Oh, you
work.
gotta watch out for them pre-spirit giants. They going through some traumas. I already been there, done that. They be going through shit. They need to get their shit together. Some of them do get their shit together though. At some
Hmm.
point, some of them do, but some of them be sticking to that shit, and they miserable at 40, even 50 and shit,
Look,
and
I'm
bitter.
not afraid to
I
say
think
that
that
I
was
need
Eartha Kitt for real. When I look
Eartha
at
Kitt.
Eartha Kitt, I think Eartha
Hmm.
Kitt was one of those. And when
Well,
I
she did get angry.
and the more shit I hear come out about her trials, tribulations, and her little emotional issues, I was like, oh yeah, she was a free spirit that found out the hard way.
Mm. Yeah, it's crazy out there, and I'm not just putting this on the women, but I'm seeing a lot of fake submissions. I'm seeing a lot of fake. I love the black man type of situation, but they're quick to talk about their own son and display videos of certain things that should not be displayed. I saw. Okay, I guess this is me being judgmental again, but I saw a mother go on video and display her son bought like a fake you know what, okay, at age 14 or 15. He bought a fake, and she displayed it. Like, look at this.
Who?
The mother displayed her son's sexual toys on
Oh
the
Lord.
internet for the world to see.
Like, cause she's an attention whore. That's what that is. She did that for attention, but she's
I
but
said
she's
to myself,
embarrassing. She's
uh-huh,
embarrassing her son so she
you
can get
think?
attention on the internet. On the internet, they're like that's really fucking stupid and ridiculous. Like people don't. Some. I've seen that though. I've seen some people do that shit though, where they will embarrass
Mm,
their
mm,
kids
mm,
so they have something to talk about,
mm. That
and they do it with their friends
I
too.
just
They do it with their friends as well. They will embarrass someone they're supposed to care about, just so they can have something to talk about, so they can be socially gratified by other people.
That is disgusting. And this is why I even started with the sentence, men protect your seeds, because someone dropped a seed in that bitch.
Mhm.
That's quick to emasculate her son. I don't mean to be raw. I don't mean to
You've
be
been raw
raw,
this whole podcast. Just keep going.
but I just, for God's sake, a man looked at her and said, she's the one. And now the boy is going to be fucking scarred. That video is going to be up for the world to fucking
Most men don't
see.
be thinking that. Most men, like I ain't gonna lie, a lot. I ain't gonna say most men. I ain't gonna say most, but I'm gonna say a lot of these. A lot of these, if you want to call them men out here, they just be
Hmm.
busting up into anything. They don't. They don't be thinking about that shit at all. They just
And
be
they don't be
busting.
thinking how the woman knows where they're at all times, if they're cheating, if it's another woman.
Zero
Because you
discipline.
done let go. Do men even know where their cum really originate from in their body? The cranial fluid goes down the shaft, and you trying to figure out, how does Moesha know where the fuck you were at 3 o'clock in the fucking morning? You gave her the fucking blueprint, nigga.
Yep.
You gave her, wait, oh, I'm psychic. No, she ain't fucking psychic. You gave her the blueprint. Women know what's up because you gave her the blueprint just by coming in her or near her or having her swallow. All right? So let's not play dumb. Protect your fucking seed and wear a condom. If she's not respectful enough of her body, that's a clear sign you don't need to be having a baby with her. That's all I gotta say. I'm sick of these wannabe Kevin Samuels coming out here. Somebody created that bald headed wannabe Mario looking ass nigga.
We
He
gotta
need a.
put Mario into this.
Nah, she went on.
He's about to
Like,
have his debut.
you should have heard the shit she told me. She went off. I said, I don't even want to put this up. I said, I'm gonna keep this between us. I said, but she went off. I was like, I loved it though. I was like, serves him right, but I was like, God damn, she.
Yeah, that dude was wilding.
Yeah.
Mm.
Father, you still there?
Father, can you hear me?
Yes.
Final thoughts.
I didn't even know I was freaking. First of all, that was ugly. Never do that again. Second of all,
Final thoughts is for you, my brother.
bro, I don't even really have any final thoughts. And the reason why I don't have any final thoughts is because it's been a long week. That's and it's only Wednesday.
Yeah,
So
it's
it's already
only
been a long
Wednesday.
week. But yeah, I don't really fucking have any final thoughts. Just like, bro, fucking wash your face, take your shower, wash your ass, fucking brush your tongue after you
Exfoliate,
brush your teeth, use
exfoliate.
mouthwash. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you align your chakras, make sure you're right with God, and just live life the best way you can and stop being game goofy.
Learn to use your shot again too.
All right. I think we should retire the word settle. I feel like
Oh
it is.
yeah, that word there.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I could. Now, here's the thing: like when you hear the term settle, I get it. You don't want to settle for anything that's below your means, and I do get it. But I feel like we should change when it comes to dating. We should change the word settle to compromise, because when you think of settling, it's like I've always used this analogy. If you can pull a 10, but you have a 6, and the 10 don't do shit for you and the 6 don't do shit for you, then and you're selling it for the 6, and yes, that's settling. Now, if you have a 10 that don't do shit for you, but a 6 that's an adjustable 6 that will ride or die for you and will do a lot of things that you will really ask for, then most of the times you are going for that adjustable 6 than that 10, because it's like a compromise. Yeah, she may not be the prettiest, but she does all this other stuff for me. She makes me happy. She's my peace, etc., etc. I feel like you compromise when you compromise yourself in that situation. I feel like you're in a better situation. But when you settle, obviously you're settling but below your means. But I feel like a lot of people in this, especially in this era, they mistaken of the settling for compromising, and I feel like there's a difference. So I feel like what a lot of so when I ask a lot of women, what do you think is settling? I feel like I don't know if a lot of people would have their answers, but I feel like when you compromise something, obviously you're both supposed to be the winners out of this. Just like in a negotiation of a contract, just like of a negotiation of like if you're trading something, even with money, it's just like if I do this for you, I expect this, and this for you. And if anything below that, then the contract is null and void. So I feel like we need to stop using the word settle because of course nobody doesn't want to settle for less. But a compromise, a good compromisation, I feel like does go a long way. And that's all I
And
got.
it's necessary
Yes.
because you're never gonna get everything you want in life.
Right.
You're gonna have to pick and choose. You gonna have to make sacrifices for things. Yeah, everything in life ain't gonna be exactly what you want to the T.
Exactly. And I feel like there's a lot of people that's just like you're missing out on the best things in the world because you don't want to quote unquote settle. And you're missing out on a lot of good men. And I understand like we're in an economy now that how can I say it? It's a lot of two people house incomes and all that stuff. So the traditional woman, even though some people consider themselves traditional woman, it won't be as what you would take it. Just like we was talking about tradition.
Mm.
You take things from the old that are good and then try to and take away the bad.
But
So
not just the old things that are good. What about the things that are practical too?
exactly that.
Because the
Well,
economy is not the same from back then.
right. So it's always I feel like there's a lot of practical things that we could take too. And then what makes the best relationship out of both of us and how we could get the best out of each other. Because I feel like that's the best part of a relationship is getting the best out of each other. Some like I believe Crystal said and other people said yesterday. Sometimes you're not 100%, and somebody's going to have to pick up that slack, and vice versa. Love
Hmm.
is reciprocated that way. So like as long as you do your part, we do our part, it makes everything in a relationship really good. So but you also got to find someone that's going to willing to give you that because there are selfish people that just wants for them and doesn't do for you. So
Hmm.
make
Preach, preach.
make sure when you make sure at the end of the day, make sure when you find somebody that both of y'all are satisfied in a relationship, not just one person. Both of y'all are satisfied. And that's all I got to say about that. I would like to I would like to thank the panel for jumping on, and as usual, I'd like to thank for all of y'all for listening to hear us talk our shit again. This is you know what? Let me just say podcast, and I'm signing off. Peace.
Cheers.
Peace.
Deuces. Now I get some sleep for work.
Me too.